Hello, everybody, and welcome to Good Morning Xbox. I'm your host, Axel1324.
And I'm Cool Cat Terry.
And
I'm
I'm
Dreadpool.
Eternal. Oh, I didn't know. I'm used to Dreadpool not being here, but I am Eternal.
Got to be quicker than that.
I see.
All right, and it is another great Sunday morning. Happy Veterans Day to all of you who celebrated yesterday. Hopefully, you got some free food, some free donuts, some free something. That happened. But let's check in with the chat real quick. We got my buddy Doggy Dog. What's going on, Doggy Dog? He says, "Good morning, everybody." Your Wicked Hawk comes in. He says, "Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Go Pats. Go Pats." There you go. Jacob Novik says, "Hi, Doggy Dog, Wicked Hawk, and me, Iconic Video Games." Hey, Jacob Novik, thank you so much for being here. Lost Boomer comes in. Thank you so much for joining us, Lost Boomer. You are all the real MVP. Let's see. Do we got anyone else I have missed so far? No, I think that's it for now. Let's let the chat filter in. While they filter in, Terry,
Yes.
what have you been playing this week?
War Tales, and lots of it. Have been
Nice.
thoroughly enjoying it. I've actually been having more fun playing War Tales with my friends than I did playing Starfield. So, so it's a great game. I love it.
Blasphemy.
It was my indie spotlight last week. So those of you who were not here, make sure you go check that out. Fantastic game. It's on Game Pass. Have some fun.
That's right. And shout out to the Game Complainers who joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. The Game Complainers, you are also the real MVP. So let's see. I guess it's gonna go 1, 2, 3. Dreadpool, what have you been playing?
Absolutely nothing. Honestly, that is literally the truth. I have not been playing anything at all this week. We've that special project is starting this week, so we've been preparing for it, trying to get the rest of the videos from Halloween wrapped up and scheduled.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been nonstop. Move, go, and nothing to play. Not even Twitter.
Not even Twitter. Dang.
Not even Twitter.
Not even Twitter. Twitter trolling, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that sucks. Shaddai, what have you been playing?
Have been playing Lost Odyssey and the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Not done yet. And I really don't like the direction, but those are the two games that I've been playing.
All right. And let's see. Shout out to General Spartan who joins us. Thank you so much for joining us, General Spartan. He says, lots of Call of Duty and try to level up in multiplayer. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. And Dan, the man Cunningham, where is he? There he is. Dan, the man Cunningham joins us. Thank you so much for joining us, Dan, the man Cunningham. You are the real MVP. He says, hey, all, how's everybody doing today? I am doing fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see. Jacob Novik says, I enjoy Little Noah. It's not on Xbox Game Pass. First Cry Games Inc. game on Xbox or Side Games?
I think that's Side Games.
Side Games. And shout out to Happy Cloud Gamer. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. And let's see. So I have been busy this whole week as my in-laws are in town. And so we spent most of the week cleaning. So I got to play in the afternoons, and I have been playing the sequel to Shin Megami Tensei's Demon Soul Hacker. What's the full name? Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hacker something. Demon Slayer or Demon Controller or something like that, right? So I've been playing Soul Hacker 2. If you haven't played Shin Megami, anything in the Shin Megami Tensei universe, you're missing out. So I'm playing Soul Hacker 2, and let me tell you, the combat system is pretty awesome. But good God, the tutorial is like an hour and a half. It's like a 40-minute intro cutscene. And I was like, am I going to play or just watch this cutscene? So I've been playing that. And, of course, I went back to good old faithful Halo Wars, too. I played that last night, so yeah. But let's get right into the news now that everybody's in. It is Sunday, and what a busy... I didn't think it was going to be that busy of a week for news, but it has been. And up first, we got Turn 10 Studios and Forza boss Alan Hartman is the new head of Xbox Game Studios. So if you recall, Matt Booty got promoted to head of Xbox Game Studios and Bethesda Games. So someone has to take over, and none other than Alan Hartman is taking over from Turn 10. I think this is great because Turn 10 makes a great engine. They make some spectacular visuals. Obviously, I'm talking about Forza Tech, and we'll see what happens with him. Thoughts, Terry?
Well, I think it'd be good because compared to other game studios out there, Turn 10, they do a great job. They're always turning out quality when it comes to the Forza franchise. So they've been doing a good job. So they definitely have good management and good budgeting, and they're doing things right.
Yes.
So I think this is a good fit for them. Because we've seen plenty of other studios mismanage money and make bad decisions on things, and it hurts their marketing and the timing for everything. So it's good to see them pick someone that at least has a good standing record currently. So see what he does with the rest of the Xbox Game Studios now that he can focus on more than just Forza.
Yeah, he's gonna keep those studios on a tight ship, So Forza Motorsport, the new one, was only delayed by 6 months. So I mean, in the world of delays, that's pretty short.
That's pretty short,
Yeah, that's pretty short. Death Dealer joins us. Shout out to Death Dealer. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. We missed you on Friday. Nobody was there to tell the chat that they were nasty. So we need you. Let's see. And shout out to my beautiful wife, the MVP of my life. She says, Mr. Shaddai is in the house. Yes.
Morning.
Yes. Dreadpool. Alan Hartman. Any thoughts?
Oh, it's a good pick. If you think about everything that he's done with Turn 10, pretty much everything's been on time. Everything's, for the most part, been flawless when the games come out. So when you look at it, again, for the most part, everything looks on the up and up, and it looks like they have good management skills, good team building skills, because they were able to work with Forza Horizon team. I forgot.
You're talking about Playgrounds?
Playground Games.
Playground, yeah, they've been able to work with Playground Games, sharing assets, pushing them forward with Forza Horizon 5, as opposed to, because normally it was one after the other once they started doing that, and usually they've been utilizing Forza Motorsports assets and putting it in there. So for them to push 5 ahead, it was a good look. It was a good proposition to change up, to give Forza Motorsport time to rebuild. So yeah, I think Alan will do a pretty good as a leader. He's already proven himself in many different assets that he's been in, and for that, I'd say they're in good hands.
Absolutely. Shaddai, Alan Hartman, any thoughts?
Not much. Just like Dreadpool said and Cool Cactus said, when you have a great leader and great management, this is this is something that you're gonna get. Good luck for him. It's gonna be a lot more than just taking care of Turn 10. Now it's more studios that he got to deal with. Let's see how it goes and the direction he's gonna take with the rest of the studios.
Awesome. All right, there you go, Alan Hartman. And of course, Jacob Novik chimes in. He says, I trust Alan Hartman. Never heard of him before, but Turn 10's very awesome studio. Fun fact, Turn 10, which created FM1, Forza Motorsport 1 on the OG Xbox, was the first ever Microsoft-created studio, not bought. Oh, there you go. There you go. I did not know that. Oh, it didn't do what I wanted. There we go. All right. Let's move on to the next announcement of the day. And that's right, Death Dealer brings it up. Be sure to hit that like button, everybody. It really helps us get discovered, especially in the gaming section of YouTube. We appreciate each and every one of you who does. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We have this show every Sunday. We don't miss a beat. Typically, we did a few weeks ago, but that was personal reasons. All right, but on to the literal next announcement. It's the announcement of an announcement, guys. Rockstar Games took to Twitter to say next month marks the 25th anniversary of Rockstar Games. Thanks to the incredible support of our players worldwide, we've had the opportunity to create games we are truly passionate about. Without you, none of this would be possible, and we are so grateful to all of you for sharing this journey with us. In 1998, Rockstar Games was founded on the idea that video games could come to be as essential to culture as any other form of entertainment, and we hope that we have created games you love in our effort to be part of that evolution. We are very excited to let you know that in early December, we will release the first trailer for the next Grand Theft Auto. We look forward to many more years of sharing these experiences with you because it's going to take 20 years for the next announcement.
Yeah.
So, I think this released back. When did the original Grand Theft Auto 5 release?
Like 2017 or so, because it jumped from one generation to the next. So it's like almost like
2013.
Oh,
2013. So it's been 11 years since the release,
nice.
And they are announcing the announcement. Terry, are you excited about the announcement?
I'm not, but that's only because I'm not a GTA fan. I'm a Saints Row fan through and through. I prefer Saints Row over GTA. But I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that love GTA and they've been itching for a new one because, I mean, let's face it, GTA 5 is looking dated. All right. The only thing keeping GTA 5 alive is the online. That's pretty much it. No one's playing
the service game that never
ends.
ends.
No one cares about the campaign anymore. They played that to death. The only thing keeping that game going is definitely the online. So that will be interesting because think about when you transition to a new game, all the stuff you love about your online will be gone because it'll take some time to slowly add it again. So you'll have to get used to, not having it. So there'll probably be a lot of people that'll jump on it to play the campaign when it comes out. And then they'll probably still mess around with the online on 5 until they start getting enough content on 6 for people to fully cut it off altogether. But, have fun out there for those of you that are into that kind of thing. But, screw GTA. I don't like it. I really want Rockstar has some fantastic IPs, and they don't do nothing with them. All they care about is stupid GTA. I don't care about GTA.
Hey, yes, Max Payne was announced it last week.
They finally brought back, Red Dead, but I mean that took them ages to do that. So, like, how long do I have to wait for them to actually make games instead of make a game? Okay, come on. I want them to start bringing back more of their IPs. I mean, Max Payne, but that's probably another 20 years down the road before they do that. So, I just want them to bring back more of their IPs instead of focusing so much on GTA.
Well, there you go. Terry's thoughts on the announcement. Dreadful, are you excited about the announcement for the announcement?
I'm so excited for the announcement of another announcement of that announcement and this announcement. And then finally, maybe the trailer announcement on top of the announcement of the announcement. So, it's on top of that, it got spoiled by Jason Schreier. He spoiled it 6 hours early.
Yeah, he did.
So, spoiler alert, don't listen to Jason because, he likes to spoil things.
But that's who gets the big bucks.
Yeah, seriously. It is a big deal, but at the same time, like Terry said, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's much to do about nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to know it's finally, the big deal is that yes, it's finally confirmed. It's we know it's happening. We saw the leaks from before. But now we will actually see the official announcement. And this announcement is just to let you know about the official announcement. That's why I was going off with the announcement, which makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Who's on first? Announcement. Who's on second? Announcement.
So yeah, so it is what it is. They're trying to unfortunately make it bigger than it actually is. I mean, it's a huge thing, but the announcement is not that big of a deal.
Okay,
it's just confirmation that we'll see something soon. How soon? Maybe in another 30 years. I don't know.
We'll see when. Yeah. Shaddai, the announcement to the announcement. And now remember, this is just an announcement trailer, not a release trailer, not a date trailer, just a trailer.
Well, we do have the date early December, so I'm not surprised in the first week of December for that trailer. But we cool Cat Terry. I really don't care about Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my!
Never caught my attention. Not for nothing. Only one caught my attention. That was China Wars. That was it. Just to give it a try. But in
China Wars on the DS?
No, it was on the PSP. Well, it was on the DS, and then they switched it to
Stories. On the PSP was Stories.
No, it's called China Wars only.
No, I promise you, China Wars did not come to PSP.
It's one or the other, but it's called China Wars. But in all honesty, I'm not into Grand Theft Auto. I'd rather have Sleeping Dogs or Where's My LA Noire 2 or Bully 2. Those are the ones that I kind of expected more of an announcement. Yes, this one is bigger, but they could have waited a little bit longer.
So I looked it up. China Wars
you're right,
was on DS
it didn't come to the PSP. I am wrong.
It did.
Yeah.
I verified it too. It did. He's not wrong.
Where's that guarantee now?
I know, right?
Yeah, there was no money back on this guarantee.
Yeah. Well, he could give me one of his top players on the fantasy team.
No, that's not going to happen. I am 2-6 on our fantasy league.
Anything but Russell Wilson, I'll take it. But no, just give me LA Noire, like I said, Manhunt 2 or whatever 3 it is. Or I know Square Enix is the one who created Sleeping Dogs, but they're better games than Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion. So yeah.
Well, there you
go.
One
that cent rose.
I personally don't care for the announcement of the announcement. But I understand they want to make it a media event, so because Grand Theft Auto is that iconic. So yeah, I could see why they're doing this. They're just trying to build up some hype and get that rolling. Let's check in with the chat. Mr. Kiba joins us. Shout out to Mr. Kiba. We appreciate you joining us. You are the real MVP. Fastback joins us. Shout out to Fastback. You are also the real MVP. We appreciate you. Let's see. By Grand Theft Auto 7, Xbox owns Take-Two. I honestly think so if they decide to buy Take-Two. So to say, yeah, it's being good. RWK88 says, Saints Row, WTF, Terry. That last one was terrible. All right. Let's see. I honestly think it would be a very bad decision not to buy Take-Two if Take-Two knocks on your door. They will never knock. Just saying.
They'll never knock.
I bet GTA release date is 2025. I'll bet you it's 2020. Let's take a bet. So I'm guessing 2026.
Yeah.
What do you got, Dreadpool? 25 or 26?
I have 30-25.
30-25. Wow.
Goodness.
Shaddai, when do you got the release date?
For which one are you talking about? For
GTA 6.
Oh boy.
We're just guessing years.
That will be at the end of 2024. Holiday, like November.
I'm going to say
we're
seriously.
already at the end of 2020. Okay.
2024.
24, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Here you go again, making mistakes.
Where's my coffee? I need more coffee this morning. My dates are everywhere. Shout out to Sith Lord. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP.
No, I'm seriously going to say it's the end of 24. It sounds like a good proposition, especially seeing that they're making the announcement now. But it's hard to say. 25 sounds reasonable also. We don't know until we see something with the announcement. We won't really know. So I'm gonna stick with the easy number and say 25.
All right.
Although 24
and just remember, when
better.
it finally does get released, every game is gonna move. Nobody wants to release the same week or even month that Grand Theft Auto releases.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. If there is a Call of Duty on November and Grand Theft Auto, who's gonna win?
Grand Theft Auto, easy. It's the only one that's outsold Call of Duty historically. Yeah. Let's see. Sir X-Men joins us. Shout out to Sir X-Men. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, you are the real MVP. And to everybody who is here lurking in the background, not interacting in the chat, we want you guys to know that you are also the real MVP. Up next, guys, just because you can play some Xbox games on it, the Steam Deck OLED was announced. That's right. So, the base model still comes in as is the old model. So only the new models are going to be OLED models, but they have a new 6-nanometer APU. They upgrade to Wi-Fi 6. They get a bigger battery by 10 watt hours. And yeah, that's basically it. So no hardware improvement outside of the 6-nanometer.
More storage.
Well, I
Pretty
mean,
much.
you could get more storage on the previous one as well. So you have 3 models. You got the OG 7-nanometer APU and Wi-Fi 5. You got the new one and the really big 1 terabyte, which is not a terrible price for that much. But you get the new OLED screen. We got some price drops right now of the old ones if you want some of the older ones. And yeah, I guess Dreadpool is right. You get more
again.
memory.
Something is wrong with Axel saying the wrong things.
Well, because I was like, I could have swore there was a 512
Axel's
on the
off
old
his
one. And I
game
was right. It's
today.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was only half wrong on this one. So yeah, there you go, guys. It is getting good reviews.
Mm-hmm. A lot of praise.
Dreadpool, do you currently have a Steam Deck?
No, I do not.
Are you going to get an OLED?
I am even more interested on the OLED than I was on the original Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I was interested in it originally, but it was just one of those things that I said, you know what? I'll pass because I have a feeling that this will be one of those other ones that if it doesn't hit, there's going to be no support, and if it does hit, they will have better revisions of this, and this is holding true right now, right? These OLED versions are better renditions. They're also a lot easier to open up in service, so you can do so they made that part easier.
Looking good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So on the one side, I wish I had the 1 terabyte OLED because the special project's going to require something like that. But it is what it is. I don't have it, and I won't get it for now. Maybe next year after tax returns.
Maybe hint, hint, wink, wink.
Wink, wink, or
Christmas gift.
Actually,
hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, Quest 3. Wink, wink.
There you go. Available November 16th, so 4 days till pre-orders go live. Terry, you use Steam. Are you going to get a Steam Deck?
No, but that's only because I'm not big on handhelds. So
that's right. That's right.
I'm not a handheld gamer. If I'm going to play games, I have no problem, sitting here at my desk and playing on my PC or on my Xbox, and I'm fine with that. I literally have my Switch hooked up to the TV in my bedroom, and I don't even play that.
Boy.
So it's like, I don't need it. I'm good.
Oh, Dreadpool, we got a great announcement. Dreadpool says, we'll see what magic I can make happen.
Yes!
There you go. Shaddai, Steam Deck OLED.
I remember when they first announced the Steam Deck and I pre-ordered it, but then I had to cancel it because something happened. It's always something, responsibilities. But this time I'm like between yes and no because it reminds me of what Nintendo did with their Switch when they announced their original one. Then they decided to do the OLED. So they're doing the same thing. But I always wanted a handheld. I usually had anything that is Nintendo, but for a Steam Deck, never. I don't know. I think I'm going to go the same thing with Dreadpool. Probably on the tax returns, I might get one, the 1 terabyte, and that's a maybe. But it's there. It is there. Let's see how it goes. But yes, there might be a revision. Yes, he is right.
Yeah. So I want a Steam Deck. I really do, but I want to try one first before I commit. And with the OLED coming out, I'm sure some people will sell their used Steam Decks on eBay or Facebook. So I might just buy a used one to try it. And see if I really is something that I want. I know one of my good friends, he has a Steam Deck and he uses it all the time. So we'll see. But he travels a lot, so we will see what happens. So Steam Deck, if I bought one, of course I would want the 1 terabyte. With how big games are, there's no way I wouldn't take the 1 terabyte. So yeah, there we go. All right. The chat has filled in, guys. Those are some just quick tidbits and news, real quick, that we wanted to talk about. On to the big news here. Let me click stuff. But first, let's check in with the chat. Let's see. Sir X-Men says, like I've said since the Switch came out, I will not buy a portable until it takes a SIM card for my own internet. For my own internet. Okay. Oh, sure. Whatever you say, Sir X-Man. Happy Cloud Gamer says, I think I stick to my phone and grip. So the reason I play mostly in cloud, out in public, I don't play video games. Sorry, but I do enjoy life outside. You're touching grass and enjoying it? Yeah, no. I also play on cloud. I played nothing but cloud this week. So yeah. I totally 100% understand. Let's get into the real news now, guys. Here we go. So up first, we talked about this a little bit, but now we have some quotes. Could World of Warcraft finally come to console? The MMO's executive producer says, we talk about it all the time. So I'm just going to read some quotes here, because this is a long article and I pulled the quotes out because they're all over the place. So this comes from World of Warcraft's vice president and executive producer, Holly Longdale, and what she told Games Radar. So Holly said, well, it depends on who you ask. I don't think it is, frankly, but I think we're pretty well positioned, which is kind of why we talked about it. It's a complicated question. For a console audience, the approachability is likely going to be different. We've got these 3 expansions, and we're so excited about them. But yeah, of course, it would be very insincere to say that we're not like, of course we're talking about that. We are Microsoft now.
Yes.
So that was a very roundabout answer to say it. All those quotes are in this long article, guys, but that's essentially what she said. Terry, we talked about it. World of Warcraft.
We have, yes.
Now she said so that they talk about it because they're Microsoft now. Should it and will it?
Well, I think if Microsoft, now that Microsoft owns them, there's a very good chance that they'll try to, make a version compatible for console. It's just a matter of them deciding, are we going to start with the vanilla classic version and bring that and like remaster that or something, or remake it and put that on console, or are they going to just start with a fresh new game to kind of get consoles into that franchise? So that's what they're debating on. Do we bring over the classic? Do we redo the classic? Do we try to redesign everything to make the current one work? Do we just start everything from scratch? That's probably where they're debating right now on what to do. But so I'll wait and see. I've already said that I don't care if they bring the current game over. They could make a fresh, brand new one, just for console, and I would be happy with that. So, just to kind of get console gamers introduced to it, because, it is kind of one of those things that I've always wanted to, but I never got into it. They don't even have to make it an MMO. That they want to just make like an action adventure World of Warcraft, game, kind of on the vein of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning or something like that. Like, I'd be all in. They don't have to do an MMO because I know MMOs aren't exactly the biggest thing to be doing on a console, but they have a fantastic world that they created. There's plenty of other genres they could tackle with what they've already created to continue the storyline and get people introduced to the world of Warcraft. So I'm all for it. It doesn't have to be an MMO. I feel like I would be if they did more of like an action game. I think that would be better than doing an MMO for console, just because MMOs are tricky on console. You're muted, man.
And actually, it's muted.
Yeah, they may or may not work very well. And optimization on console is very, very important. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll bring it. But right now, all of World of Warcraft's audience is on PC, and who knows if it's even worth it to bring it on console. We're gonna move over to Shaddai real quick. Shaddai, World of Warcraft on console? Should they?
Actually, that is something that I had on mind a long time ago. And I remember when I was watching and listening to the Xbox 2 podcast with Randall Thor and Jess Corden.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about I know they were talking about Monster Hunter World and the acquisition of Undead Labs.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him through a super chat that I did at that time that if there was a possibility for the World of Warcraft be on the Xbox console, and he said that's a good question, but he does not know because the game is too big and old, and I don't know if it's gonna fit on the Xbox. So
cloud game. So they make it a cloud game. As Happy Cloud Gamer says, maybe they'll bring it to cloud first. Yeah.
Probably because that's the only best option to move it to the Xbox ecosystem. The optimization, I really don't know, because I'm like, every single time that I see that, it reminds me of what's this game? Kingdom of Amalur.
Kingdom of Amalur, yeah.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And plus, there's so many expansion for World of Warcraft, so we don't know how big it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But I always had that on mind. It's a really good. I'd rather have it on the console. I really wanted it to play. I have seen my friend play World of Warcraft on his computer, and the last time I remember was, what is it called? Dragon. It's one of the expansions called Dragon something, or Witch Leech, whatever that expansion is called. That's the last time.
Yeah.
That's the last time I remember World of Warcraft. I always wanted it to play. And if this comes to fruition, I'm going to be the first one to play it. And more people are going to come, pretty much, more people is going to be coming for the World of Warcraft. I know they're trying to look for more audiences to play World of Warcraft, so I'm one of them. Come show it to me. I'll play it. There you go. Thank you. Wrath of the Lich King. Thank you, dealer. Death dealer.
Yes.
She's correct.
Death dealer. Wrath of the Lich King.
She's correct. You got a great wife, Dreadful.
Oh, I know it.
Doesn't he know it? That's right. Dreadful. World of Warcraft. It's a possibility. It'll come to consoles now. It may not be a native install, but it's going to use the power of the cloud, much like Flight Simulator, probably. What do you think?
I don't see anything wrong with it, and I understand there's a lot of people that don't think it should be there. I understand that, but isn't the whole point of Xbox games being everywhere? No matter where you play, you can play it. So the theory would be this would be one of those things, right? We have keyboard and mouse support on the console. Yes, you don't want to sit there and play at your desktop, but you want to play at your on your couch, but you don't want to play with keyboard and mouse from your couch, but you can. Logitech has the wireless keyboard and mouse combo that you can do it from your couch. You can do that. I mean, we even talked about how RTSs have incorporated into the controllers to operate. The RTS is a lot smoother. I mean, they're not as intuitive or easy as keyboard and mouse are, but the option's still there. So again, I think if you're not into it, that's fine. There's no issue for you. They're not forcing you to play it, and if you don't want to play it on the console, nobody's forcing you to play on the console. It's just there. It's an option, right? Since when were options bad? So if they want to get out there to more people, and with Game Pass, I know because it is a subscription service, I can see them maybe on the next iteration of Game Pass prices, there could be something that they allow for that to go through, or even if they, because we are paying what, $16 a month now.
Yes.
That's still more.
Mhm.
It's for they could say for an extra $2 you get Game Pass. Now you think of how many people are playing WoW, and you look at how many people are playing Game Pass, and now you combine the two. Okay, not everybody's going to shift over, but you
Mhm.
combine the two. Now that just inflates your numbers as to saying, hey, Game Pass now has this many people. Now think about this though. What if you're paying for both services? You're paying for Game Pass and you're paying for WoW. You
You're
just
talking
saved
about that monthly that they have?
$30, man. $30.
They
Right.
could just
Mm.
include the subscription in Game Pass Ultimate. Be like, if you pay for Game Pass Ultimate, we'll give you access.
That's
to
what I'm
the-
saying. Yeah.
To force people who have like Game Pass Core to upgrade.
Right. That too.
Yeah, if Game Pass Ultimate went up to like $18, I think $20 is really pushing it, but $18 or something, and you get World of Warcraft as well. But man, what a deal!
I don't think that's a deal. I because most people that are playing WoW are usually just playing WoW. It's just like a lot of Call of Duty fans. They only play Call of Duty, or a lot of Madden fans. They only play Madden.
Yeah, well,
So
when you MMO, you gotta know life.
yeah, exactly. So when it comes to that, I think at the rate that they're at now, for a price difference, because it's what, $15 a month now for them, and then 16 something for us for the Ultimate.
Yeah,
So for the price,
$16.
yeah, for the price difference, for an extra $2, you get all of Game Pass, and you still have WoW. So it opens you up to play it everywhere. So again, it's just one of those things that if they look at it properly, it could be included. And I know they don't want to lose that money that's coming in solely from WoW, but
Mhm.
if they figure out who's playing where, because they already know all the stats, they can do that. They can figure out who's coming from WoW and who's joining to play WoW. So
Mhm.
I think it's a win-win. And if you're playing from your couch with a controller, who cares? Who cares where you play, how you play? As long as you're playing, that's what they want. And cool. I mean, are people not playing it from their Steam Deck now? Are people not doing that already from other facets?
Right.
Was it what was that other one, that other service, something now, Nvidia Now or something like that? Was
The PlayStation Now, you mean?
no.
I mean,
no, you're talking about NVIDIA G Cloud, or
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
isn't that what it's called? GeForce.
Isn't it GeForce Now or something?
Mhm.
Yeah, something.
I don't
It's called
subscribe to it,
let me
so
see.
it's hard to remember.
NVIDIA Cloud.
They're
No,
they're saying it's
GeForce Now.
in the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah,
GeForce Now.
See?
Yeah, GeForce Now. Okay.
Again.
Yeah, GeForce
that
Now.
was right. It was now something now.
Mhm.
But either way, it doesn't matter. It's again, if it's not for you, it's not going to be for you.
Mhm.
Right.
So you don't, again, it's options. What's wrong with options, right? Isn't that the whole motto of Xbox, was to give you options?
That's right. Play the games you want on the devices you want.
Just 'cause
Remember,
it's
it's
there
not
doesn't mean-
exclusive.
just because it's there doesn't mean you have to play it. Maybe you'll dabble into it. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that'd be the one person we need to ask is Death Dealer, because she used to play it all the time.
That's right. Until she had Little Giant, or Tiny Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now she doesn't have time for that no more. we asked Death Dealer if this came over, if she was gonna make you play it, and she's all, I would try. So there you go. You got to play with her.
I might have to get all three Xboxes on there. That way we can spend family time together.
There you go.
Each of us sitting in different
Nothing like
rooms.
family bonding over slaying some whatever it is you slay in World of Warcraft.
Family bonding from different rooms in the same house and talking on
with voice chat.
On voice chat.
That's right.
What great parents we're gonna be.
Modern bonding.
Modern bonding.
Let's check it with the chat real quick. So Happy the Cloud Gamer said that it would come to PC Cloud first. I definitely think that World of Warcraft is going to be akin to Flight Simulator, where most of the graphical heavy lifting and data is going to be in the cloud. And of course, it's an online game. If you go, oh, there's no offline mode for World of Warcraft, you need to slap yourself because it's never had an offline mode.
Mm-hmm.
But I can already hear the people, the complainers, talk about it. Shout out to Web Dave who joins us. Thank you so much for joining us, Web Dave.
So, Dave,
as you know, Web Dave has interviewed everybody. Has he interviewed you yet? Should I?
No.
All right. You almost got us all.
Wink, wink.
Web Dave, you get
Wink, wink.
You got to get Shaddai. You got to get the Chadster. All right. Let's see.
Definitely.
Moving along. Yeah. GeForce Now, Ubisoft Cloud. Yep. That's right. If it did go to cloud, it would be through Ubisoft's cloud, and it could go to every service for 10 years, or is it 10 or 15 years?
It was 10.
10 years, and
Yeah,
that's
10
only if
years.
it's cloud. That doesn't mean cloud supported, cloud only.
Yeah.
So,
Well, even if they put it on Ubisoft Plus
it would still be there. Yeah.
to appease the deal or whatever, couldn't they still just include Ubisoft Plus and Game Pass like they do with EA Play?
They could, but
That's
I don't know.
streaming only though. So
yeah, Ubisoft Plus. I mean, it could become like you know how you have your Amazon membership, right? Your Prime Video, but you can also add Showtime to it. You can add all these
Entertainment.
other services to it. I mean, who's to say that Game Pass isn't going to become like that? Like, hey, here's the base service, but you can add all these.
Yeah,
to your Game Pass.
this way they can still use WoW to build their Game Pass subscriber base and still have it through Ubisoft, so that way it's like, you know, they're still appeasing the CMA deal.
That's right, the UK.
You know.
Speaking of the UK, the Gina joins us. Shout out to the Gina. Thank you so much for joining us. He says, you are the real MVP, the Gina. He says, not able to hang around today. Just wanted to come by, drop a little like, and wish you all a good day. Hey, thank you so much. And hey, you know, Redders, I understand he got injured. Tell him we say hopefully gets better soon. That he has a fast recovery.
yes.
Yeah. And by the way, that's a part of the Gina and Redders do the Xbox Live Party podcast on UK time, and they also do the PlayStation Party podcast. So yeah, be sure to check them out. But no Nintendo Party, I notice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, here you go. Here's what we were talking about. Jacob Novik says the CMA agreed on approving ABK if every ABK game they make comes to Ubisoft Plus. Every as streaming, aka Ubisoft owns the streaming rights, actually sees this as people stream on Ubisoft Plus and ends up on Xbox ecosystem. Yeah, like we were saying.
That's like a bridge.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be bad. I know that Ubisoft is going to be, it's going to get to Ubisoft Plus, and then they can distribute the license to stream elsewhere.
Well, they will be, because of the previous contracts Xbox had already set up. They have to honor that.
That is correct.
So Boostroid and the GeForce Now, all that stuff, all those contracts are honored. They will be the people in charge of the distribution to those other platforms for distribution. But that's it. Money still comes in. Oh wait, that sounds familiar. Didn't I say that? Something like that, right? Get an outside company to license it out, and then you collect the money from
And
them.
I still think
collecting the money.
that's a big no-no. I don't see why they had to do it.
They didn't. It was just because
Government.
the government didn't understand what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Lena Karnautis trying to fight some more.
Lena Karnautis. Okay, sorry, just keep going. I lost it at Lena Karnautis.
Well, you know, when you have people like that still fighting the fight of, we're going to try to break them apart and separate them because they lost and they keep on getting nowhere. It just shows how desperate some of these agencies are, that they want to be right no matter how wrong they are. And people like that, we need to be able to, from across the globe, be able to voice our opinions and get them removed, get people that actually know the technology. She's the same one that wrote up the paper on Amazon. Amazon needs to be broken apart because their prices were too cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure.
Yeah. Too cheap. That's right. Not enough of our friends are making money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, Sarksman does bring up a good point. The Ubisoft stream is only for new games, not World of Warcraft. It's an existing title. Oh, what's the deal for new games only or for all cloud gaming? I thought it was for all cloud gaming, right?
No, it was for Activision cloud gaming, but not the new games. I thought it was. Well, wait.
I thought it was for Call of Duty.
It definitely includes the new games.
Yeah.
New games, not the.
It's just about existing games.
Yeah, I forgot now. It's been a while since this has been, in the forefront of the news. So
Yeah.
now that it's like over with, it's like purge the banks. So yeah, maybe I think that either way, it's not a.
We'll see
if it's cloud supported for technology. It's not streaming because you're playing it locally, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But if you're streaming it, then it could count. So that one there, I would have to kind of do some more research and double check. But I don't think WoW would fall into Ubisoft.
That would be interesting if
Unless
it
it does.
That would be interesting.
But nothing. It's only for cloud streaming only, not local.
Oh yeah, yeah. Here we go. He makes a good point. Shout out to Jacob Novik. He says, Axel, if it was a game ABK ever worked on, that includes Xbox IPs ABK gets to make. Old IPs. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We will see what ends up happening. We have yet to see any ABK games on Game Pass so far, but we'll see. Terry, we had a poll. What do people think of World of Warcraft?
Shit, wow, come to consoles. 80% said yes. 13% said no, and 6% have no clue what we're talking about. I think they fat fingered it on their phone, is what I think.
You see that World of what? All right, so let's move on to the next topic. That was a great topic, by the way, guys. Let's see. So get your tech hat on, everybody. Hope you had your coffee because it's time to study. So, as you know, Baldur's Gate, probably the game of the year, is gonna. So, Lar at Larian, who is someone that works at Larian Studios, says, "Got a nice present from our engineers. Ensuring memory is well under control and having buffer for peaks was the main thing holding us back. I think this will benefit all platforms still. 2, still some work left, but very close now." All right, so this is top RAM, and I have no idea what any of this is. But if you look at here, you got a Series DX12 average, Series S DX12 min, and Series S DX12 max. I don't know if you guys can see this on the lower right. It's very small, guys. So this is before. You can see average was 4.711.65. Right, and then on the next picture, the average drops to 2.310.97.
God, geez, so small.
Yeah, that is super small. Even on my screen, that's small, guys. But you can see the difference in the graph. This is RAM and VRAM usage, right? So I went to someone that actually knew what the heck they were talking about. And the developer has reduced the game's RAM and VRAM requirements on the Series S. So RAM is reduced by 10%. That's RAM in general. And VRAM 35% respectively. Now remember, on the Series S, I think you have 12 gigabytes of RAM. 10 of that being the nice DDR4 RAM. 2 of it being that slower RAM that I don't even know why it even exists anymore and why Xbox used it. And that's total RAM. That's system RAM, VRAM, all the RAM you're going to get. So for them to reduce 10% and 35% requirement is quite nice. And he said, this is, buffer for peaks was the main thing holding us back. Right here, as it says it. Let me see. Can I highlight it? I can. Okay. And so Baldur's Gate looks like it is still going to hit the end of the year. They got a month and a half left for it. They have 1.5 months left.
Gotta get it out before Christmas if they want to get
That's right.
those holiday sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Got to get it out.
So-
So you can see it is quite the difference in these shadow zones. I'm going to call them. I'm going to assume these are where the peaks are. And I mean, they are vastly reduced. So that is fantastic work by the team at Larian Studios. So Baldur's Gate, the Series S is holding us back. Optimization, buddy. Optimize. So, Terry, I don't know if you're super technical.
I'm not.
So now that they're solving the RAM issues, and of course this is going to benefit all versions as well. What do you think? Now, remember, this uses DirectX 12. Xbox is a DirectX 12 environment. What do you think? Do you think Baldur's Gate hits that end of the year? And are you going to play Baldur's Gate 3?
I'm definitely gonna play Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm not playing it on the S. I don't own an S, so like this has never been a factor for me.
Right.
I'll be playing it on the X once, whenever it does come out. But you know, at least they're actually showing what they're doing to, you know, improve it, so that way it will work for the S properly. So you know, I do like the transparency there. So I mean, hopefully it all works out and it runs smooth for the people with the S. But like, you know, I just want the game to come out, and it would be nice if it could come out before Christmas for the Xbox version. But I don't know if they'll get it out in time.
All right. And do you think the Series S is forcing these people to become better developers? Like just kind of curious on that.
I don't know, because I mean the S is so much better than like previous generations. So like it kind of blows my mind how every generation it seems like there's always, for some reason, they always have this underpower issue. You know, with optimizing stuff on stuff. So I'm like, every generation is better than the previous one, and you were making games on. How come when the next one comes out, we're back at square one where you guys can't figure it out? Like it just kind of baffles me how we could go through the song and dance every generation with we have better tech and we still have this problem.
All right. Well, there you go. Better tech, but still have problems. It's almost like games get better with better tech. It's weird. It's so weird, Terry. All right. Should I? The Series S optimization from Larian looking promising. What do you think?
I don't care about that Dodge Ram. I really don't care.
What are you talking about?
Since we're talking about all Rams here and there.
That's right. Are you around 1500?
No.
Or around 2500
I'd rather
guy?
stick with my 4 F-150s. But no. The only thing that I can say, I'm not technical, but the only thing that I can say is Larian Studios is one of those studios that they'll go like to the end to check that everything works correctly. And when I saw this, I'm like, wait a minute, why does Larian have to do all the work? So what's going on with Jason Ronald? That I'm like, they're making him look small, and Larian Studios are like the best to optimize a lot of the things. Because that's like, wow, I'm very impressed by Larian as a whole.
I really feel that the Xbox Advanced Technology Group is out there working with them right now. I'm convinced they are out there.
Oh, they are.
I hope so, but as you can see, who's taking the praise right now is Larian Studios for what they're doing. But this is the only time that I hear that they're doing good things, while others, like Terry said, they're having a lot of issues. Is it because they don't know how to utilize it, or it is something? But Larian is the only one that we see right now that they know how to maintain, or whatever, you know, to optimize it correctly to the Series S. So for me, kudos to Larian Studio. They're a really special team. That's the only thing that I can say. They're kind of like, I don't know if it's underutilizing them or we kind of not underutilizing them, but we kind of not paying attention to what Larian Studio does on their games and optimizing and all that. But I give them props for it. I give them props.
Okay. Dreadful, what are your thoughts on this optimization discovery?
What have we said before? It's poorly optimized. It's just funny how a lot of devs, remember back in the PS3 days, the cell technology was so difficult. But
Yeah,
devs,
the cell ships. Yeah.
yes. So devs were able to program the cell technology better and easier than they were able to do the Power PC stuff that the 360 had. And it was just so funny how we went to PS4 and Xbox One, and they are x86 platforms. Granted, there are other parameters that change up, but again, it's an x86 platform, just like PC is, and they still were able to manage to program items, games faster on the PS4 versus the Xbox. And here we are with the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5, where the PS5 has the adjustable power between GPU and CPU side on the APU, right? So going both ways, and you're able to push more power for performance one way or the other, which puts a lot more complexity again, kind of like the cell put complexity in there. Totally different technology though, so don't think I'm saying it's the same technology. But what I'm saying is there's complexity there, right? Yes, there's complexity on the Xbox side also, but the CPU is literally the same CPU, just a few clocks slower, right? The memory is a big difference. Okay, so when you look at the memory, it's a big difference. But again, you look at the variations on PCs for between graphics cards, CPUs, memory, all that stuff, and it's still they can do that no problem across all of the generations of PCs because there's really no generation. It just kind of like blends, and doing that with the Series X as the potato that's holding everything back. And then you find out that the potato is actually what is helping optimize and use that optimization across the rest of the spectrum of PCs and Xbox and PlayStation. So when you look at that, it's like, so I guess lazy devs would be the proper verbiage then, because and it's not to say it's a bad thing, because sometimes you got to think about it. It's not always the devs that are lazy. It's the studios. It's the people above that are push, get this done. So they don't have a chance to truly optimize these games because they have a deadline, right? So now with Xbox team going there, showing them the tricks, hey, if you use these tools, you should be able to get this, and that better performance obviously can translate across to the PlayStation side. So they figured out some things that are not exclusive to the Xbox side that will translate to the PC and PlayStation. So think about that. It just shows that the optimization wasn't there, and the game is so huge. Think about how well received this game was. How lacking of bugs it was. I know Chapter 3 was a huge bug fest, but the rest of it from the get-go, how many games do we have that you can't even launch? Day one, it's like, what's going on? I just got this patch and I still can't even log in. I can't do nothing. And a lot of times it's the servers, but there's many different issues that are causing this to drop down. But you look at the backlash they got from other studios because they put out a near perfect game at launch.
Yes.
Right? A near perfect game at launch.
Yeah, they showed up all those AAA studios, that's for sure.
Exactly. And they showed them off and they got so much flack because everybody said, this is what we want. This is what we want. We want people that are building these games looking at you, Terry. Put these games out perfect at launch.
Perfect, Terry. Perfect. Okay.
It's got to be perfect. But you know, and understandable. You're talking about hundreds of people, where a lot of, and you know, you got to give credit to these indie devs because they're usually a one-man show or woman. Sometimes they'll have some help from the outside for sound or music or some other things that they don't have time to or cannot do because they're doing so much of they're doing basically everybody's job as one person, you know, if you were to assign everything. So you look at how they do that, and those games usually come out very well polished, even as a 1 or 2 person team. A small team like that do very well because they're not overdoing the graphics, they're not overdoing this or that, trying to blow it, you know, add so much that all the useless information that doesn't need to be there, you know. So again, you know, when you look at this stuff, this is what you want these games to come out perfect. You want the minimal bugs. I mean, it's gonna happen because these games are so huge. There's bound to be a missed colon or a missed dash or a letter that shouldn't have been there or a number that shouldn't have been there, you know, a phrase in the code that did not translate right because there was a misinformation.
Semicolon missing.
Yeah. So certain things that were quoted that should have been this to lead back to this information, it's not there. Terry knows what I'm talking about when it comes to the code part of it. But it's like, if you miss that little spot, that little spot might work for this part, but because you missed something with that, it throws off the rest of the game. And then you got to figure out, once you fix that, now it throws off something else. You know, so there's a lot of that stuff that they have to do. And that's, you know, granted, one person's doing this and figuring it out on their own, where you have a team that can't find it. You know what I mean? Joe Winters, we interviewed him on a couple other channels, and at the same time, you know, he did everything on his own. He did the artwork. He had to get somebody to help out with some of the music, but he did all that stuff on his own. And in case you're wondering, that's Song of Iron, and he's working on Song of Iron too. So again, you look at where the spots are. Yeah, if you know how to develop and make it for this, and you put the optimization in, it's going to be the key difference. How many games, and this isn't the only game that's been optimized. You look at Callisto Protocol, one of a sort of a favorite game, right? It's kind of a favorite, but it has so many bugs for me, where others had a great time. The Xbox side does not have any ray tracing. It's just a shade in the mirror. Where the PlayStation, they got help from the PlayStation side, and PlayStation went in there with their devs and helped them clean it up, and the PlayStation game looks beautiful. You know, all this ray tracing's there that they have, and it's like, isn't it funny how Xbox helps Larian, and it helps across all the platforms, where PlayStation helped the studio for Callisto Protocol, and it only helped their console. It just goes to show how much goodwill is coming from Xbox to help a studio put out a good game across everything.
Yeah, I feel that it's also because the Xbox is more of a universal system, you know, like it's working off of DX12, which is anybody can use DX12. You can use it on PC, you can use it on anything. Whereas whereas the competition uses their own, you know, proprietary crap, you know, their PS Link crap. You know, it's basically proprietary Bluetooth. You know, they use their Tempest engine or Tempest sound, which is basically proprietary Dolby Atmos. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, Xbox is using more standards, universal standards than anybody else. So if you help Xbox, you help yourself. I think. I feel that, as you said, there is more goodwill coming out of Xbox than the other teams.
Real quick to answer Sir X-Men, BG3 works on PCs less powerful than the Xbox series. Okay, the reason why is because of the shared memory on the Xbox side.
Yeah, I actually wanted to address this one real quick.
Okay.
So Baldur's Gate 3's minimum requirement is 8 gigabytes of regular RAM and 4 gigabytes of VRAM. That's 12 gigabytes total. of fast RAM. And then remember, the Series S has 10 gigabytes of fast RAM and 2 gigabytes of slow RAM, worthless RAM, if you will. So, I mean, it might be less powerful than the Xbox Series S as far as the components, but the RAM, and I always felt this way, was that the RAM was going to hold it back as well. It's a RAM issue. So, yeah.
That Dodge Ram.
That's right. Can't pull as much.
so,
So yeah, where were we, Dreadful?
Rams, a lot of Rams.
It's okay.
Who said Ramrod? What?
Yeah. So this whole DX12 review optimized using DX12, and don't forget they just showed off. Who was it? The people that did Control. Remedy with Alan Wake 2, they used mesh shaders, and the performance boost was significant. And so, I understand it would take a lot to redo every shader in your game to be a mesh shader, and it would create a headache for you from a development standpoint. But there are options if it was an exclusive game or if you had a team big enough to handle it, to optimize better for these series consoles. They are powerful, and they do have options outside of, let's just make a game and it's going to use as much RAM as it uses up, which is what a lot of smaller teams end up doing. Optimizing is a long and tedious process. And Baldur's Gate 3, I think, had 3 years to optimize on PC before it released. I think it went into early access in 2020 during the pandemic. So they had 3 years to curate and finesse and everything this game before they officially released it. And what a great release it is. But your only audience is the PC. And I mean, I could require 64 gigabytes of RAM on a PC, and guess what? You can do that on a PC. You can require 64 gigabytes. Not a lot of PCs are going to do it, but they can, right? You can add 64 gigabytes to you can make your PC 64 gigabytes. On consoles, they are what they are. There is no adding RAM to a console, right? It is the way it is. It's made the way it is, and that's just you either make it work or not. So they did do some optimization on it, just not enough. And now that they're doing the DX12 optimizations, I think it's gonna, as they said, benefit everybody. And obviously you see what Jacob Novik brings up, the Quantum Error team. Yeah, they said that the PS5 was going to be amazing on their game. There's only 4 of them, and their game was not optimized, and you saw what happened. You saw what happened. So yeah, that's just the way it is. So VRAM, separate RAM. I hope when the next Xbox launches that they put so much RAM in that damn thing. It's future proof for the next, because you got to remember, like, I don't understand. This always bothers me. These consoles are supposed to stay in the field for about 6 to 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they are really trying to make these last 10 years.
Well, you want that,
right? You need enough RAM. You need to future-proof that bad boy.
Well, they thought they did.
Not with 2 gigabytes of slow RAM.
Well, remember what they were talking about before the Series X's came out? Mm-hmm. They were talking about an add-on graphics card, and they have those for laptops now. Add-on graphics cards.
Oh, through the Thunderbolts.
So they were talking, doing interchangeable. Like you could actually replace a card, kind of like you do right now with the external expansion card on the Xbox, right?
That would be interesting in external RAM.
Would you imagine just having a RAM or a graphics card that you would just slide in and out of the back, and then the rest of it would be the same? It would be just. It
reminds me of the 32X on the Genesis, man. It's not going to go well.
It
would literally be a console PC.
But wait a minute,
if you think about it.
But wait a minute, Steam machines used to do that back in the days.
No, the Asus ROG uses it right now.
But I know it started off with the Steam Machine before the Raw came in.
Yeah.
I know they used to do that.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Shout out to Splendiferous. Thank you so much for joining us, Splendiferous. You are the real MVP.
Splendor
Food
sugar.
morning Xbox. That's right. Get some food in you. I always eat before the show. Ask them. They see me eating most of the time before the show.
Jeez.
They just hear me
plate.
clinking the plate. Let's see. These games are in development for 4 to 5 years. Figure it out. Get help if needed before launch, or do separate launch dates for each platform if optimization is a difficulty, especially on multiplayer games. Yeah, which is the Larian has always done separate launch dates. They've always done PC, PlayStation, Xbox. It's the way they have always gone about it. I think they recently ported one of the Divinities to the Switch. But yeah, Larian always goes in that order. They have never moved away from that order ever since their games back, Divinity 2, back in the 360 PS3 eras. It went PC, PS3, Xbox back then.
That's the best way to do it. That's the best way.
I'm gonna respond to Splendiferous. He says no one can definitely add RAM to a console if you're savvy. Well, did you remember or did you forget about the Nintendo 64? That was adding RAM.
Yeah, it had that RAM slot though, where the replaceable RAM slot. I know what you're talking about. Oh, what was it called? RAM pack. Yeah, I think it was called a RAM pack, wasn't it?
Exactly, because it had a bigger RAM. You take out the old RAM, which was 4 gigs,
and then it was like 4 megabytes or something,
or whatever it was. Yeah, it was 4 and 8. So you doubled it up by putting that red pack in there.
Yeah. Let's see. The expansion pack consists of 4 megabytes of RAM. Where 4 to 8. You're right. 4 to 8. Yeah, and remember, you couldn't play Perfect Dark without that RAM pack. You couldn't play Smash Bros without that RAM pack. So eventually, everybody needed the RAM pack. That's right. So yeah, if you build the console with a replaceable drop-in RAM, I definitely think that. I think they should definitely do that next one. Dreadful, you gotta get on you gotta call Jason Ronald. Give him these $1 million ideas.
Well, we gotta compare beards first.
I was about to say that.
that would be great.
I was about to say that.
You guys should enter like a beard off.
Oh, geez.
Who knows? We might tangle beards.
Oh my goodness! Too much TMI. Shout out to Nixie. Thank you so much for joining us, Nixie. You are the real MVP. He says, "Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nixie." Checking in more with the chat. Does the Xbox Series X have mesh shaders? Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It does.
Fastback says the S was made for the majority of gamers who don't have high-end TVs on a budget, so the S is made for 1080, 30, 60. Yeah, that's true. That's graphical output, but don't forget there's also the AI inputs inside the game that require RAM.
They're also doing the
RAM isn't all just visual, right? As Terry knows, right? Right, Terry? As she's making the game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Putting so much pressure on her.
That's right.
She's making.
I haven't heard from Terry in a while. I need. I needed to make sure she was okay. Let's see. These companies are trying to balance the performance with cost of parts. It's also one thing to consider is the marketing BS that included to make things like bigger and better than what they are. Yeah, of course, man. You gotta fluff the resume. You gotta fluff it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. Next, he says, very hard to believe that both Sony and Microsoft didn't anticipate performance for engines like Unreal Engine 5, which is going to pose a big challenge for games on both consoles. That is not true. Unreal Engine 5 was made with PlayStation 5 in mind. I mean, that was the marketing I was told. And there was a demo that was quote unquote only possible on the PS5, bunch of crap. So if you believe the marketing, that's untrue. But I think Unreal Engine 5 is a great one-size-fits-all engine. It's probably the best one-size-fits-all engine in the world. But I have never seen Unreal Engine 5 beat proprietary first-party engines. You know, when you're looking at things like Forza Tech, Unreal 5 can't do that. Decima Engine, Unreal 5 can't do that. And if you look at every open world game, literally any open world game, none of them use Unreal Engine 5 because they don't. Unreal Engine 5 is so hungry. It takes all the assets, and you can't put out a beautiful, realistic open world game. The best you can do is a cartoony style game when it gets really big on Unreal Engine 5. That's just my opinion of Unreal Engine. Historically, then no engine has never been an open world engine. And maybe it doesn't need to be, right?
Mhm.
It is a one-size-fits-all engine. I have the RAM pack for my Sega Saturn. Yeah, I do too. I got the Action Replay one, both a RAM pack and a bunch of games. Let's see. If he says here, if PS5 doesn't have mesh shaders, then Sony can say bye-bye to Capcom's new engine they are working on. It depends.
They're using software to render the mesh shaders.
Mhm.
They're not using the chipset to do that, which is evident in Alone. Why do I keep on saying Alone in the Dark? I'm waiting for that game to come out so bad.
You're not the only one.
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2.
Alan
yeah.
Wake 2 are using software, right? So this is all programming that they're using the CPU, GPU to render all this, right? Now Xbox has actual chips set aside for doing some of these off things. It's just like when it comes to PC, and the reason why you use NVIDIA over AMD is because NVIDIA has CUDA cores. CUDA cores do the smaller computing computation. So if you need to know what 1 + 1 is to equal 2, you don't need the bigger CPU to render all that when you have the bigger CPU trying to do the quotient of the equation of 2 divided by 17 to the power of 9, and you know what I mean. So when you go into those type of numbers, you don't need you need the bigger CPUs or the bigger power sources to utilize to do the mathematical equations for that, and then the smaller ones, the CUDA cores, do, like I said, the 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
So those smaller things. So this is how Xbox is doing it. It's something similar. It's not the exact same thing. So don't say I'm saying it's a CUDA core. It's something similar, but they use hardware dedicated for certain things, like the mesh shaders, the machine learning that they have in there for the upscaling and so forth. So Xbox has actually made certain cores specifically for those other things that if you don't use them, they're dead cores that are doing nothing for you, which is probably partially why the memory bandwidth for the Series S was an issue. So little things like that.
Yeah, there you go. And also why Bitcoin miners love NVIDIA is because those graphic cards just they handle the mathematical load. Anyways, great topic, everybody. Let's move it right along here. It is time for Terry's Indie Spotlight. Terry, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, welcome to another Indie Spotlight, and I got a brand new release for you all to check out today, so I hope you are interested. Let's see it.
Let's go.
Amidst enchanting realms, adventure unfolds, as student wizards their destinies behold. Customize your essence, let magic be known. The Academy of Greifenstein, where secrets are sown. Puzzles to solve, challenges to face. Alone or with your friends, conquer any space. Explore hidden secrets, mysteries profound. Unlock spells and powers that astound. Freeze and fire with might. through realms of wonder. Take flight. Fantasy and adventure. You'll be thrilled. Expert wizard, creativity fulfilled. Cooperative gamers, together we'll soar. Exploration and mystery we'll explore. In mystic realms where powers entwine. Bosses emerge, a challenge divine. And now the time has come. The wait is no more. Discover the enchantment, spells and secrets. Out now to explore.
Nice.
All right, you guys. So there you go. We got Spells and Secrets. Now, this game is going to be available on all platforms. It's not released on Xbox yet, but it will be. I think it's the same thing where it was supposed to come out on Xbox the same time they released it on PlayStation. It just didn't come out. So they haven't given me a date as to when it's coming out for Xbox. So I apologize for that. But you can get it on PC, Switch, and PlayStation currently. So you can go ahead and do that if you like. And there are some pricing discrepancies. So PC is saying that this is a $25 game, and they're currently having it on sale on Steam for $20. You can save 20% right now on Steam. Whereas Switch, so Nintendo and PlayStation, they're claiming this is a $30 game, and they have it on sale. So their sale is for $24. So I would assume when it does come on Xbox, it'll be a $30 game as well. So they'll probably price match the other consoles. So keep that in mind. It's a solo game. There is co-op on there, but it's not true co-op. It's
Did you just say Souls game?
Solo.
Oh, solo game.
It's a solo game, but it does have co-op. Now, if you're playing it on Steam, the only way to do co-op is through their they have like that game share feature where you can have a friend play with you, but you have to do it with controller only. So if you're a keyboard and mouse, you can't play co-op at all. You have to. It requires 2 controllers to do the co-op if you're playing it on PC.
That's cool.
So if you're doing it on consoles, I mean that shouldn't be an issue because everybody has a controller.
Sounds like the game that I gave you last time.
All right, but so go ahead and check it out. It is a roguelite adventure puzzle game, so you can have some fun with that. So it's got this cutesy little like calm kind of look to it, but it definitely has some challenging gameplay. So, you can have some good fun with it, as well as if you're just looking for that Harry Potter alternative, then you can kind of, still have some fun with that as well.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Great indie spotlight. Another fantastic upcoming game from Cool Cat Terry. Great.
Yes, at least it's not only PC. Woo, yes. It's multi-platform.
It's out now on 3 of the 4 platforms.
That's actually true.
But Terry, on our last topic, Baldur's Gate topic, we had a poll. Could you read the poll for us?
Will Baldur's Gate 3 release before Christmas? 78% said yes, Santa is coming to Xbox. 21% said that they don't give a flip about Baldur's Gate 3. And that was all the votes right there. No one voted for the no option. So
all right, fantastic. All right, let's move the show right along. Great spotlight, Terry. So up next is an interesting topic. I'm not too up to date on this technology, guys. This is more young world for me, but this is great. That is, Xbox has partnered with Inworld AI to empower game creators with the potential of generative AI. Now, this is the official press release from Microsoft, and we're gonna scroll down to the bullet points because that's a lot of stuff.
Axel zoom in the heck out of it just so we don't have to go like.
I need AI.
Can you see it yet?
Yeah, from what happened with that graph.
All right, here we go. So the 2 bullet points is an AI design co-pilot that assists and empowers game designers to explore more creative ideas, turning prompts into detailed scripts, dialogue trees, quests, and more. And an AI character runtime engine that can be integrated into the game client, enabling entirely new narratives with dynamically generated stories quests, and dialogues for players to experience. So I want to hear from Cool Cat Terry, as she has the most game design out of any of us. Terry, would typing in, give me a side quest that involves, I don't know, apples, help you, give you ideas on your game?
I mean, it would. I feel like people. So it becomes tricky because, well, first off, before I even get into that, let me start with the co-pilot part. So this part makes sense. So for those of you who don't use Edge, I use Edge.
Edge.
Microsoft owns Edge. The new Edge now has Copilot, which is their AI that they introduced to their browser, which now allows you to do a lot of prompts and stuff. So that way you can have Edge go, and they can they tap into the creative side when it comes to like making AI artwork, as well as other things that you may want it to do. So they've already been tapping into that Microsoft's browser. So it makes sense that now they want to integrate that into gaming for their console and whatever else they decide to do with it from there on forward. So that this is all planned. They're testing it on their browser first. But so it makes things interesting and how that's going to come about. Now, when it comes to actual creation of games, it becomes tricky because you can literally have an AI make your code, you can have an AI do all the artwork, you can have an AI create your story, you can have an AI do everything. You literally could just be the one person dev,
like the one man dev team.
The one man dev team who's like, all right, I got an idea. I have no clue what I'm doing. I want to have the AI make my game for me, and I'm gonna make profit. So that runs the question of issues where, of course, this is going to affect people who already have degrees in coding. Are they going to be phased out? Are artists going to be phased out? So it becomes the waters are muddied now with what could happen and how this could be used versus abused. Steam or Valve has already taken charge. I've seen them where if they have I can't remember their exact rules, but they allow AI they allow a lot AI resources in your games, but they're limiting how much AI can be used. And if they feel that your game has too much AI, they'll just ban it altogether. Which
that's right. They did ban a lot of games.
They are banning games that have AI creation in them. So to see Valve being like anti-AI and then Microsoft, being very pro-AI, this could be interesting to see how this really shapes game development, because who's going to win, like, is everybody going to be like, no, and start banning it? Or is everyone going to follow suit with Microsoft, and then Valve is going to have to take a knee and allow it to happen, because they're going to want those new big AAA games that are going to be under, Activision and Blizzard and all the other studios that Xbox has. They're going to want those on Steam, so are they going to bend the knee? So
Gabe Newell has so far never bent the knee. Just pointed it out. He has never bent the knee.
He's a Microsoft, fanatic. So,
but he has never bent the knee to nobody, and he has been right all along so far. So Gabe does not bend the knee. He is the Godzilla to Microsoft's King Kong, I guess.
Well, to see. I mean, if the next Call of Duty has a lot of AI, and then you better believe they'll bend the knee to get that new Call of Duty. But we'll have to see what happens, because I mean, Jacob, poses the thing, are devs going to get fired so they can just have AI do this stuff? I feel like
they're going to get fired no matter what. Q4 profits, baby.
They're getting fired right now without the AI. So,
I hate to say it, but Q4 profits.
Yeah, we've just seen even more. Ubisoft delayed another 124, and then there was another studio that did some. I think it was Epic or someone did some more. So they're still getting laid off. So I feel like that's kind of like the whole thing with technology. I mean, look at just manufacturing. More and more manufacturing now with assembly lines is done by machines, than versus people actually doing it. So this is just progression. So we'll just have to adapt. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. Because I don't know. Even with the way the AI is now, it's not perfect, especially when it comes to certain details. If you go and you try to get like an AI generated image, if they're making a person, the hands are always messed up. AI can't figure out how many fingers a person has, as well as if you're doing intricate details for like cars, for example. If you wanted to make a generative image of a car, the rims are always messed up. AI can't figure out spokes to save its life, as well as emblems. It kind of in the grill pattern. It's intricate details it can't do. So you're still going to need
90% of the work for you. It just saves
so if you
90% of the work.
so if you can use it to kind of give you a good starting ground, you would still need someone who is proficient in Photoshop or something to kind of clean it up, and then animate it and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it can save you a lot of time. So I think it's a good thing. I think if you use it properly to kind of get things like the ball rolling, and then have everybody kind of polish it up, and then do what they want to do with it the way they want to do it, I think it's fine. I think if you're making a game 100% by AI, then that becomes the argument. But I think if it's used properly, I think this could be a great tool.
Absolutely. It's so funny you say that like AI can help me. Like I remember using CAD and drawing this, like designing this 3D sheet metal piece, and I'm like 75 commands in, and I go to put it on the program, and the programmers are like, I can't do this because I need a corner bend relief. And I'm looking at it, and the corner bend relief should have been put in like on step 20, right? And I go in and I put in my corner bend relief, and it messes everything else up. Like the entire piece is jacked up, right? It would be so nice to just type into AI, add corner bend relief here, and it just does it all for you and fixes it all. That would be so nice. Like it would really save some time. Yeah, but of course that's more less software, more physical limitation. But it's just one of those things. It would be nice. Dreadpool, AI helping devs develop. Are you releasing a game? Are you becoming a dev and making a game?
No, I'm already working on it. I'm going to beat out the Cool Cat Terry by using AI only. So no, well, the thing is, I've said it before. AI is a tool, right?
Mhm.
Cool Cat Terry just already expressed that AI has a lot of faults in it, fingers and such, and coding. AI will help you speed up the process of finding mistakes that humans make, right? So when you use it as a tool, it's great. If you try to use it exclusively to replace a human, it'll never happen. Yeah, you might have like proofreaders that are going over code or text or something like that. You may lose a couple people for to have a position, but at the same time, it'll help speed up the work, right? So here's the funny thing, right? We're talking about it now, but Sony's been using AI with their projects for the past 5 years. So why is it now a problem? Because Xbox is using it, right? Why is it now a problem that Connect is listening to you? Because, oh wait, what are we doing now? We have Siri, we have Alexa, we have all these other ones.
Bisbee or Bixby. Yeah.
So we have all these other computer assistants that we couldn't have that for gaming, but now we do, but we don't. You see, you get my drift here. It's like Xbox does it or Microsoft does it, and it's a bad thing. And it's like, no, we have to keep in mind that any dev that uses it needs to remember it's a tool. YouTubers use it currently. They're tools. And if you don't use it, some sort of AI as a tool, then there's a problem there. What do you think? I don't know. The computer was replacing everybody that worked on the printing press, that worked on typewriters, right? It's gonna guarantee that we lose our jobs because we're typewriters and we're going to do this and that with the typewriters, and now because of the computers going to come in, make it easier, we're going to lose our jobs. No, somebody still has to operate those tools. And what happened to the typewriters? Yeah, they've been replaced by computers.
Replaced.
But those same operators also shifted over. So again, it's a tool, not a replacement. It's a replacement for an old tool. And that's the thing. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, yes, some people, like my grandfather was one of those people that hated computers because that was replacing his position, and he did not want to adjust and pivot and learn how to use programming or any of that stuff, to use how to, to do the exact same input that he was doing on his typewriter, to do it on the computer. Same thing with the printing press he was working at. None of that stuff. He was steadfast against it, and look what happened. It pushed him out of the way and moved on without him. So same thing here. These devs will be using this as tools. It will not replace them, although some positions may not be necessary, because now you don't need 3 proofreaders to go over the same code, because you can just hit a button and get that thing done faster, right? So hopefully these games now that are going to be like 10 years in the making can be brought down to like 5 years, and the 5-year games can be brought down to like maybe 3 to 4 years. Again, it's not going to replace. It's just going to be a tool, and has to be used as a tool. And if you don't know how to use the tool, then you will be replaced, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if you've used Microsoft Word and you've used spell check, guess what you used?
Oh, that's AI, right?
That's AI, right?
We didn't call that AI
now
before.
It moved on from spell check to grammar check.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Don't give me that AI is evil crap. You're using it.
And when you write up your emails, what happens? It auto assumes what you're going to start.
That's
what
right.
The rest of it is, and you can just slide it across, and there you go. It auto fills it does the assumption of what you're writing with what you're going to continue writing, and then you look, it pops up and you can slide across, and now that'll fill in the blanks. So you've already been using it in life.
So true. Shaddai, but AI in game design, good thing, bad thing, evil thing, Skynet, what do you think?
AI stands for I.
I gives me a headache.
That's what it stands for. I'm split on this. I'm more like, whether you call it a tool or not, that tool can be an evolution to something probably bigger, depending on the person and their motive. If you create it, there's some things that could be used for something that is not right later on in life. So that's how it goes. This is just probably the beginning. There's always somebody who will ruin everything anyways. It is a good tool, especially me. When you're bilingual, sometimes I feel some type of way when I say things and it sounds like freaking Tarzan, and the AI actually helped me out. Hey, I have to say the truth, especially when I'm Hispanic.
Yeah.
But, that helps out, and that helps a lot, especially for bilingual people. But when it comes to games and all that, that's fine, because yes, it eats a lot of the things, but at the same time, like I said earlier at the beginning, it's not about replacing, but you are actually replacing it in a small chunks. And Dreadpool said it's not replacing, but we don't need this, but that's called replacement. So no matter how you call it, later on, it's gonna replace a lot of the things once it gets better and better and better. But it is what it is. We're still gonna be utilizing it. It is actually making it easier, so I can't complain about that. But we have to pretty much keep an eye on it because of people's motive. That's just me. That's just me. Everybody have their own thing. I know this is more of a gaming thing, but they utilize it for robots and all that. So hey,
That's right. And you
I
know
am-
what?
I am robot.
I am robot. You know
We-
what we always talk about in games? We always talk that the NPCs. So I'm gonna hark on the second point, right? AI character runtime engine that can be integrated into the game client, enabling entirely new narratives with dynamically generated stories, quests, and dialogues for players to experience.
That's
So
what
someone has
Ubisoft
integrated ChatGPT into Skyrim, and it listens to what you physically say and it responds to what you say, and it's fantastic. It is fantastic, guys. It is entertainment on another level. Now, do I think that a lot of these people are going to teach this AI evil things? Absolutely. This AI is going to turn out to be, I hate to say it, but very bigoted and all this other stuff. So you got to learn how to. They got to learn how to filter all that out, right? But it would be so fun to have AI that if I shoot somebody, instead of everybody just running away and getting as far away from me being there, some people go into shock. Some people are like, oh my God, will someone please think about the children or something, you know? It would be so fun, especially on the new Fable. That would be fantastic. And it's just going to be so much fun because I'm really looking into these dynamically generated stories, quests, and dialogues. I am a huge fan of the WB engine. What's it called? Nemesis engine. Of the Nemesis system, where those guys react to what you do and how you kill them, and if they kill you, and all this, and you know, it is just an incredible engine. And to imagine that on steroids, oh man, just load me into the game.
Could Nemesis be considered a form of AI?
I think it is because they remember you.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
actually true. And levels up.
That. It wasn't a problem back then. Oh, now that we say AI, we include the word AI or the two letters, and now it's a big problem. Now it's a big deal.
Ignorance is bliss, okay?
Ignorance, yeah.
Well,
but that's
frankly,
what
be ignorant.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm getting at.
Indirectly.
Yeah, so I really am looking forward to it. I think this, if you're a developer, this half is great. There's a bunch of the back end stuff. If you're a gamer, this half is great. I think. I think that if it's used properly, it can be fantastic. Do I think some people are going to lose their job over it? Yeah, absolutely. I think if your job's getting scuttled, you need to move over to the AI maintenance team. Just saying.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Whenever
even though your
something
job
gets
is going
phased out.
away, new jobs are opening. You know, like we
Yep.
say, those automation in automobiles. Those robots need maintenance. Those robots need programmers. Those robots need all kinds of stuff. Your particular job of, I don't know, installing the steering wheel might have gone away, but somebody needs to make sure that robot keeps installing that steering wheel correctly.
Look at the movie with the programmers, right? They were data entry people for NASA. I forgot the name of the movie, but it's with Kevin Costner and these ladies, because they were you had the white section, you had the Negro section, and nobody knew how to run these computers. And one of the ladies taught herself how to run the computer, and they taught each other how to run the computers because their positions were getting nullified. But guess what? They're the only ones able to run the computer and keep it maintained, not only to start it, to run it, to maintain it. They were doing everything with it, self-taught, and did all this stuff. Thank you, Hidden Figures. But again, it goes to show that just because technology is there and being utilized and replacing your position, that does not mean that you're on the way out. You just have to, again, pivot and figure out how to stay in the industry. And if that's what it takes, that's what it's going to be.
Absolutely.
You know, so when you look at that, and that because of what they did, they changed part of that industry. So it's definitely a good movie to watch. Very, very insightful of what the world used to be like and how things have changed little by little. So definitely check it out. Good recommendation.
Check it out. Absolutely. Let's check in with the chat real quick. Shout out to Graphic God. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. We appreciate you, Double G. Let's see. Jacob Novik says, I think the PS6 and the next Xbox will use AI inside the consoles, and also that gen will be the start of the AI war, like console war, but who uses AI better? Yeah, absolutely. I think whoever has the better NPCs is going to be kind of the king of the narrative now. Let's see. Skynet will end console wars. Yeah, yeah. Skynet, bring it on.
AI NPC, yeah, you know me.
That's right. NPC, yeah, you know me.
No, Terry.
Let's see.
No, not even a. Okay.
Fastback says AI ideal CETA. We got Sir X-Man. Do not put AI in these new robots. I think they're making look like humans.
That's
Yeah,
what
that
I'm
would be
thinking.
A
creepy.
little too late.
But
A
I
little
think it's
too
going to
late.
happen. Yeah. AI will take over most mental labor. It's by design. It won't be just blue collar work. They've already ceased taking over lawyers, accounting, and even low level management. Facts.
They've already
Facts.
showed that AI cannot be trusted because
Mm-hmm.
they put in as fact some information that was not correct. AI actually made something up, and they found out.
Wasn't there a lawsuit where like a lawyer based his arguments on what was searched on ChatGPT, and the judge just scolded him, and then the bar basically took his lawyer license away until he recertifies for using AI or something like that.
Oh man.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I
Because
mean it's
he had stated fact when
Mhm.
the AI had made something up that
Yeah.
included somebody to be in a position that they were never in a position, and so forth. There was a lot of stuff that was very odd and
Mhm.
didn't make sense. And AI basically made stuff up, and they used it as if it was fact.
Yeah.
Don't forget that the Google engineers that make the AI for Google, they quit because the AI that they made, it ended up it created its own language, started communicating with itself, and started just doing its own thing that they didn't tell it to do, that they didn't program it to do. And the engineers got terrified. They're like, they can't control it anymore, and they're like, they regret that they created it, and they quit. They didn't want no part of it anymore.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
wouldn't quit.
See,
I wouldn't
AI.
quit. Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, they AI didn't take their jobs. They got scared of competition. The AI competition.
Yeah, so it's so Google's got something pretty intimidating
Skynet.
over
Google
there.
has
Shady.
Skynet.
Put it shady.
If the engineers that made it were so terrified of it that they didn't even want to be part of the project anymore and they left.
Interesting.
So
Well, even the new phones have AI built in. The new
Mhm.
Samsung Galaxy S24 will have more AI internally to do stuff because we're using AI with cameras on these
Mhm.
phones. We're using AI with, again, text to speech, text
Yeah, the Photoshop AI remove
translations.
the yellow stain.
Correct.
Yeah, and it just does it.
Remove this person out of my picture.
Yeah. Remember that you used to have to hire someone to do it yourself painstakingly, and now AI is like, okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this AI doing some scary things that Dreadpool used to do, and Dreadpool can't do it because the AI is doing it for him?
You think you can scare Dreadpool? Let me show you how it's done.
Watch Dreadpool jump when he never actually did jump, but we'll make him jump. No, I've actually I even have apps on my phone right now that I've done some stuff using AI. I just did a couple things, and all I did was add a picture and all the effects. TikTok is using it. Was it Snapchat was using it? Those things. That's all AI if you think about it. Yes, somebody programmed it, but it's a form of AI that, again, nobody calls it that. Now they're calling it because that's now the word that everybody uses for anything that's programmed. It's just a simple program that's doing complex stuff. That's all it is. And they make it simple for you to hit a button. I upload a picture and it does the effects. Boom, it's done. I got some other stuff that I have that takes like 30 minutes to do videos. So 1080p video for what I think it's 30 seconds, but I don't do 30 seconds. But still, that's AI doing all that stuff for me off of what's already there. So you still have to be there to create it. If you don't ask it a question, it's not going to answer. It's not going to just fill in information. You have to tell it what to do. So somebody has to be there. So
There
just
you
saying,
go.
there's a lot more to it.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Gogo Pole, shout out to Gogo Pole. Thanks so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. He says he's for all for it. If he can get paid to do something else, he'd be happy. Yeah. And Fastback, yeah, the next Xbox consoles will have AI integration. Yeah, through the cloud. Yeah. Through the cloud. Let's see what else we got.
That's why they invest a lot of AIs.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. AI is the future, guys. I'm happy and excited for it. I think you definitely have to be careful with it, as Google found out. So we'll see what happens. And in reality, all AI really is that we know in the way it exists is taking big data, analyzing, sorting through it, and putting something out, and guessing what it is, and hopefully what it put out is what you wanted. It's not going to be perfect, as Terry said. But will it be interesting? Yeah. And again, guys, this is great. I love being a gamer because I feel like I'm on the cutting edge of everything, right? Cutting edge of graphics, cutting edge of storytelling, cutting edge of everything, right? I really do feel that gaming pushes art forward, and this new interactive art is going to be great. Great. Let's move the topics right along here. This one should be relatively short. So Microsoft is blocking unauthorized accessories. So basically, if yours doesn't have an officially licensed by Xbox, you're out. But wait, while that might be good, it is also bad. People who use accessibility devices that do not go through the Xbox accessibility controller, you're out. So accessibility stuff is going away. But the Zim cheaters, which is basically a modified Xbox controller used for cheating, auto aiming, and whatnot, they get a free pass, even though Xbox can detect it. Xbox knows if you're using a Zim cheater, but yet they're not going to ban you because it's attached to an officially licensed controller. And shout out to Jess Gordon. I believe this is Jess Gordon. Who is the author behind this? Yeah, Jess Gordon. Shout out to Jess Gordon for this amazing article. Oh my goodness, it just took it away. It took it away. All right, here we go. So he opinionates that this is mostly because of money. Basically, if Xbox can make money off it, that's all they want. So that's why they're banning fighting sticks. That's why they're banning accessibilities so that they can sell more of their Xbox accessibility controller. But they're not banning Zim cheaters to help you get to that, diamond one on or whatever it is on Call of Duty. So yeah, that is a great article by Jess Gordon. Everybody should read it. But do you think that's right? Do you think that maybe these custom made accessibility things should be banned if they don't go through the accessibility controller? And do you think that this that the cheating mods get a free pass? Is this right or wrong? Or is it, as Jess quoting is assuming that it's just about money? Let's go to Dreadpool on this. Dread.
It's all above. It is about money, if you think about it. Basically, they want to push these product makers to go through their system. They want them to be a part of the system. So in order to do that, you got to pay money. Now, when you do that, yes, it's gonna upset a lot of people, but you want officially licensed controllers. You want officially licensed sticks, wheels, all that stuff. So when it comes to that, yes, it's about money. Now, on the other side, it's also about security, because if anybody could just plug in to pretend it's your console, right? It's your product that you have, and somebody can make something that can plug in and alter your stuff, right? You wouldn't be too happy about that, especially if they can cheat doing whatever they do. Now, on the cheating side, the reason it seems to be that they're escaping the ban is because they're, again, cheating on how they get into it. So, yeah, I'm sure those original controllers were pretty much blocked, but now that you're going through the adaptive controller, it's giving them another back door to get in. So hopefully they will render that useless also. But again, now it also, how do you tell it, okay, well, this is just a button that's connected to the adaptive controller. Now you're going to cause more issues. So instead of causing issues for people that need the adaptive controller, they're probably letting it slide, not willingly, but just letting it slide for the most part until they can figure out a way to remedy that also. Again, you want to make sure that everything on your platform is secured, right? So unfortunately, until we can get people to stop cheating, that's why I'm all about a hardware connection ban. When it comes to PCs, you ban this, not just one piece of hardware. You ban the hardware, the graphics card matched up with this CPU, matched up with this RAM size or model. You do it like that, and then that way, if you sell the card off, and the person that buys a card buys a banned card, well, now they're out of money, and you're laughing your way, with the new card and back in there cheating away. When it comes to the Xbox side, you really can't do that. You can't just say, "Hey, we're going to ban your console." I mean, if need be, they could, but that's not a good way to make money or doing business.
Right.
So I think this is just the first step to get people to be authorized, and this way they can actually validate that the chipset that are in these controllers are 100% non-hackable, intrusive to the platform, and that's what you want, right? And then as they progress, also figure out how to fix that back door for cheaters to use the adaptive controller without hurting those that really need the adaptive controller.
Right.
So, and it sucks, and some of them do need assistance. Some of them that they don't need assistance, they'll just kick our ass. So
yeah, some people are, even if you're using assistance, they'll still beat you.
Without assistance, I'd be
without
the one
assistance,
using assistance, and it's still
It's crazy how good some of these people are.
Yeah, some of them are so good at what they do, but it's good that it's inclusive. But unfortunately, this is the issue we have: is people find loopholes, and you can't close all loopholes, because then you'll piss off a bigger demographic. So right now, it's which one do you do?
So you see this more as just a starting point.
Yes, it's just a starting point to make sure that everybody's legit. Yes, it's going to cost more money for those other manufacturers to be legit, but again, this way they know that their controllers cannot be hacked. Their controllers are licensed properly, and if you go in, that controller is hacked, boom, you can just shut it down, because it's not the specs as per the manufacturer. Because there's no specs as per the manufacturer that's been legitimized, it could be anybody. So unfortunately, it's part of doing business, unfortunately.
I see. Shaddai, What do you think? Are they greedy, or people should just buy the accessibility controller and accept Zoom cheaters?
Dreadpool just nailed it, because sooner or later, what's gonna happen is, yes, people. Let's put it this way: people like us, I really do hate a lot of cheaters because they do some crazy things with it.
Yeah.
Even if they say the seal of approval from Microsoft, you use the controller or whatever the case may be, like Dreadpool says, sooner or later, they're gonna take that, they're gonna alter it, change a lot of the things so the machine could know, and we're gonna go back to square one. No matter what you do, we're still gonna have that problem. And I'm looking at you, AI. Just came up to mind.
Integrate that AI into the controller.
Yeah. But for the accessibility, that's gonna be a little bit. That's gonna be hard. Come on, we're talking about accessibility for people that are having a little problem on their gaming experiences and all that. But I know they're gonna utilize the loophole, maybe do some changes to make it more accessible for us. But that's something that is unavoidable. It is good because I wanted it something to be on the same equal grounds, but you always have people in the shadows creating some crazy things and ruin everybody's experiences.
They're always going to find a way around it.
They will, unless if they have somebody internally give them something. That will always happen, no matter how you look at it. But for me is like, you're not gonna be able to do anything with it anyways. But as long as you can't remove a lot of the cheaters, I'm fine with it. But hey, we already know what's gonna come. The outcome of it. Let's see how it's gonna go. But as of right now, Xbox is doing the right thing. Yes, it's about all money. We every single time that we go to Target or Walmart, you want to buy a controller, you see that seal of approval from Xbox. And also, for, like you guys said, other companies, I have to use this, is even though it does not exist anymore. I remember the Mad Catz controller.
Mad Catz.
That they had that turbo button. So that would alter your.
Man, I used the hell out of that turbo button.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those Mad Catz buttons is not the meow button, but no, other than that, they got that. Oh, see, I say meow button, somebody start barking. But no, so yeah, let's see how it goes.
Absolutely. Terry, what is your opinion? So Dreadpool thinks that this is just the first step in getting eventually those Zim cheaters and getting a more streamlined accessibility thing. Now, remember, some of these accessibility pieces are 100% custom, built by loving family members. What do you think?
I mean, it makes sense to be, they're going to want to be proprietary. Microsoft has been spending a lot of money in R&D creating accessory, accessibility controllers. So it makes sense that they're going to want to tap in to make that all proprietary use and whatever. So, I mean, I get it. It's business. I'm not mad about it. I mean, I can see how that would be difficult for someone who, made something to help a family member. But at the same time, from a business standpoint, it's, you're kind of leeching. So get rid of the leeches, and get rid of all of the companies out there in China that are making, terrible quality products so they can try to profit off of everybody else like they do. So get rid of the leeches. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the cheater thing, I feel like they definitely should get banned. Those should not be allowed either. It kind of creates the double standard. Xbox has been cracking down on people who, are cheating, but they've been cracking down on how people, trash talk each other, and they've been getting a lot stricter. So if you can't kind of have like this parental kind of representation of you, like, cracking down on everybody, being like, no, you can't talk like that to people, or you can't do this, and then at the same time underhandedly allow certain things to still kind of happen. So I don't like that. If you're going to be policing people, then you have to do it equally with everyone. So I think that stuff needs to go as well. I don't know if there's some kind of business deal that's in play. That's why they're allowing those to get by yet. Maybe they have I don't know if they have any kind of like contract with that stuff at all in any way, because they at some point they had to have gotten access to stuff to where they could make it compatible to work with Xbox's stuff.
Mhm.
So there may have been some sort of business deal in there that maybe they're waiting for that contract to run out so they can ban that stuff too. I don't really know. We don't really know what's going on with all of that stuff, and because we don't know every single deal they make,
Right.
So we don't know what's going on with it. There might be some kind of legality that's preventing them from banning them at this time, but maybe they will in the future once everything kind of like runs out. So, but hopefully they ban all that stuff, because cheaters need to go. All right.
So
Absolutely.
can I ask you a question then? What if they're using it as a backdoor where they're and if they ban including their own product that is licensed, which is the adaptive controller, because they're using it as a hack, as a way to get in, wouldn't that piss off more people that are using an actual product that's paid for
Mhm.
and Microsoft licensed?
But
I
if
feel
it's
like
being used for cheating, who cares?
Why
Yeah,
create
but if
it?
you're going to wipe it across the board, then people that aren't using it for cheating will lose their access too.
The main thing
Say
is why
that part one
create
more
it.
time.
What if they're using it as a backdoor, right,
Uh-huh.
to get in and use those cheating controllers? But if Microsoft puts a ban on it, it would go across the whole board, and they can't do that just yet. So
There's no
now,
way. I mean,
I'm not
Microsoft knows
understanding
your serial
what you're-
number. There's no way.
I'm not understanding what you mean for people who aren't using it for cheating.
those that actually need it, they're using the adaptive controller the way it's supposed to be intended for, right? Wouldn't they suffer also because Microsoft can't distinguish between the adaptive controller that's being used honestly versus the adaptive controller that's being used as a backdoor
it.
for those cheating controllers to come through? And until
But I
they can
feel like
separate the two, they would either have to ban it all or leave it up and running until they can
which is
separate.
why they haven't. So which is why they probably haven't, banned the Zim stuff yet.
But that's what I'm
But-
getting at. Yeah, but because you
So-
said that to go ahead and ban it all.
Yeah, ban it all. But like I'm saying, so they haven't done it because they have whatever reason why they probably can't do it yet. They probably need that time to create a different controller to replace that, so they can get rid of the cheaters that are using that. So they can just ban the Zim stuff altogether, and they will probably create their own proprietary one that people can use, legitimately.
But they're
So that way the people who aren't cheating can still have the features without, and they can get rid of all the cheaters, make it to where they make one that doesn't allow people to cheat.
but that's the whole thing, is they're using the adaptive controller as a backdoor to get in.
Yeah, so they need to fix that so that way they can use
Right. And so you said
just use the
ban,
adaptive controller properly without having to have like
Right.
a middleman.
but didn't you just say to ban the whole adaptive controller?
No, I said get rid of the stuff that's used for cheating. So if that stuff
Right,
used for
but that's-
cheating,
that's used for cheating.
Create a new one that doesn't allow, that they can't cheat with, that people can still use, so people who want to be legitimate can still
So
have a
what ab-
device that works properly without cheating being
What
possible.
about those that already paid for it?
Too bad. I mean, act like, we buy stuff all the time that phases out. Who cares? You buy your phone and a year later your phone's obsolete. Who cares? You spend $1,000 on that for 1 year? No, people keep using it. Who cares? Whatever. Who cares, man?
I love Heartless Terry.
It's technology. The moment you buy it, it's already obsolete. We're always throwing money away on tech. So who cares?
Who cares?
Who
All right, well, we
cares?
all know how Terry
We
voted.
accept it. When we buy tech, we know when we buy that tech is going to be obsolete very quickly.
She's trying to say we are all tech masochists.
All right. Who cares, man? Like, come on.
I'm all
There you
about
go.
them
Who cares?
being able to use their stuff.
Terry, we had a poll. Let me end it because I feel this is the perfect time to end the poll. How did the poll do?
Okay. Is the unlicensed accessory ban all about money? 50% said no. Buy an adaptive controller, I think is what you meant. And then 50% don't care. So yeah. Well, it's just like even like in the mechanic world, okay? I've literally spent money on diagnostic tools, and the whole point of this specific tool was to reset the oil service for my car, and the dang thing doesn't work right. Okay? So, it's worthless to me. Freaking get rid of that crap. All right? So I don't have to waste money on stuff that doesn't work right anyway. So, it's whatever. Okay? We spend money on tech, and sometimes people misuse the tech, and sometimes, the tech just doesn't freaking work. So either way, we're screwed. All right? So get rid of it.
I love that. Who cares? All right, so let's check in with the chat real quick. Let's pause for a minute. Princess Zelda joins the chat. Thank you so much for joining us, Princess Zelda. You are the real MVP. We love you here.
That little break that Terry took got her hyped.
Right, so go get some Red Bull or something.
No,
The alternative is to let them cheat for cheaper, right? Maybe. Let's see what else we go. Happy Cloud Gamer had to leave. Yeah. All right, so here we go. The adaptive controller was actually confirmed, but Windows Central to be working after the ban. Well,
That's what
the
we're
adaptive
talking
controller
about.
is not getting banned. The accessories that don't use the adaptive, that don't go through the adaptive controller, will probably be banned because
That's
those
what
are
we
custom
want.
made.
Right. That's what we want, but it's not happening right now.
Yeah.
So if you use the adaptive controller, you can backdoor with your cheating device to get around all that, which is what we don't want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
but I don't see Microsoft not knowing which specific controller is cheating or not, because remember, Microsoft keeps track of everything. They love gathering your information, your specific information. So the fact, I don't believe that Microsoft doesn't know that I bought this particular controller, this very specific one, that they took their sweet time to throw a very serious long serial number on it, that when I turn it on, it can detect, hey, your controller needs an update. Would you like to update it?
I just got that
Yes.
serial number. I'm going to hack yours.
Yeah. And then Dreadpool, when I use this controller instead of using the other controller, it logs me in. But when I use the other controller, it's like, okay, well, do you want to log in with that one or not? It's I don't believe that Microsoft doesn't know which specific controller isn't working. Now, I think that it could lead to some shadiness, as Dreadpool says, especially in the secondhand market. I need an adaptive controller, and this one has been banned, and I buy it from Facebook, no refunds. And I get my adaptive controller, I plug it in, it's like, your device has been banned. Go pound sand. Who cares? Get another one. And I do think that's going to pose a bit of a problem, but especially you and I, Dreadpool, we grew up in that whole buyer beware time in our life when there was no guarantee that whatever you bought was going to work in any way. Even cars. I mean, who was it? Boomstick just bought a lemon of a car that he dented just washing it.
What?
That sucks for him. So yeah, every now and again, you're as a consumer, you're gonna get shafted. But I think that I agree with Dreadpool that this is the first step to eventually getting to those Zim cheaters and finding and pushing everybody to use the adaptive controller and disability accessories. We'll see how it works out. The accessibility controller, the adaptive controller is not overly expensive in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how that goes.
So basically, all four of us are buying an adaptive controller. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not buying no adaptive controller. Nah, I don't need it. I got my regular controller. I'll get banned on that for being so good.
Yeah, if you think about it, like you said, the serial number on the adaptive controller is going to be first.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's all add-ons. So
Mhm.
until they can transition through, like I said, if you buy a button for a button press, how do you associate that with anything? And you can't just say, hey, this button has to have a serial number. So a lot of these items that you're buying that
Mhm.
plug into the adaptive controller are not going to have those things. And there's no way you're going to tell everybody that all of those accessories that plug in to make it easier for those that are unable to normally play, that you're going to tell them that all that stuff is no good, but your adaptive controller is still good. So that's part of the issue, is the fact that you can't restrict what's coming through it. And that's why they're using those controllers that way. So until they can figure out a way to see what's beyond it and then say, hey, look, this is an actual cheating controller, then they can actually ban the controller, not the adaptive controller, ban through using it as a portal. So there's a lot going on that we're missing. And I'm trying to point out that there are certain features, like they have certain joysticks that you plug into it, like a flight controller. Well, you use a PC flight controller, that's not going to have that type of serial number. That's going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
and I mean a lot of these keyboards, like let's just you can plug a mouse and keyboard into your Xbox. They don't have the Xbox seal of approval on it,
no, but
so
they have serial numbers.
yeah, stuff like that. So
But a
we'll
button,
see what ends up happening here. Jago Coogan jumps in the chat. He says, "If you're cheating, you deserve what you get." Shout out to Jago Coogan. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. And Jacob Novik, he has something to say here. As someone who originally got to use a joystick when my parents thought I wasn't going to be able to use a normal controller, I have to say, we need an adaptive controller 2.0 or an adaptive collection. Yeah, you need to start reaching out to someone on Twitter out there. I know that they have an accessibility team, and maybe they'd be interested to talk to you. Yeah, this is gray area. I think it's it's not anything like Nintendo hasn't been doing this. I mean, only Nintendo products work with Nintendo. That's just flat out, right? Team Blue over there.
adaptive controller, I believe, also works with Nintendo.
Which one?
The Xbox adaptive controller.
Yeah, but that's because they licensed it.
Yes.
Yeah, but the Team Blue over there, you can't even use regular Bluetooth headphones anymore. You got to use that PS Link crap.
Yeah.
So they're going full licensed only proprietary first party stuff. So Xbox is just like, you know what? It just needs to be licensed through Xbox. So they're still the friendliest. And of course, we're throwing a big old deal about it. But let's remember, Team Red and Team Blue are much more strict when it comes on what works with their console. Right. So I think it's really going. And Dreadpool, I know you have to get going. Do you want to go ahead and do your outro?
Yes, we can do that.
All right, Dreadpool. Let the people know.
Let the AI know.
Let the AI know.
Just so you guys can see it for those that are visual. And those for the audio side, I will let you know. Linktree.com/Dreadpool, all letters, all caps. Same thing with YouTube. Twitter will be zeros instead of O's. But you can find me on Game Beyond the Box on Sundays at 7 p.m. Breakfast with Boom on Fridays at 10 a.m. And here on Sundays when I can be here. Otherwise, we'll have some skits for you when Axel sets me up for them. And we'll have some fun. So appreciate you guys checking us out. Again, Linktree will have all the socials to everything. I need to update this graphic so that way we can include resident guest on Good Morning Xbox.
That's right.
But thank you all for stopping in. Thank you all for the support, and keep an eye out on the YouTube because I will have more videos dropping almost every day while I'm working on this project. And hopefully from the project, I will drop some hints as to what's going on and what it's about, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So, but check out the houses that we still have from Halloween and other stuff.
Yeah, can't wait, Dreadpool. And yeah, definitely check out his channel. He uploads a lot of stuff, guys. Good stuff too. So shout out to Dreadpool. Thank you so much for being here, Dreadpool. You are the real MVP guest.
Finally, I get to podcast with Dreadpool. God, jeez, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, yay! All right, guys. Bye, Dreadpool.
See ya. I'm just trying to remember how to log out of here.
See
I
you.
can kick you out if you want.
Yeah, later.
The boot.
Get out of here.
You know, one thing I got to say about Axel is that he
Nice. All right, let's keep it going. So Dreadpool left, but we still have a few topics to talk about. Dreadpool just had some previous engagements to get to. So on to our next topic, guys. So this one is a bit kind of I think it will be kind of short because I think it's kind of a short topic in my opinion. I don't have much to say as I'm not a lawyer. But recent video games addiction lawsuit lists 5 major video game publishers as liable for damages. ABK, EA, Epic Games, Microsoft, and Ubisoft are intentionally getting gamers hooked, lawsuit claims. Ironically, 2K or Take-Two isn't on here with Grand Theft Auto, the #1 selling game right now. Editors take in 2019, the World Health Organization finally acknowledged that video game addiction is real, although they intentionally avoid calling it that, opting for the more politically correct terminology, gaming disorder. The World Health Organization recognition blew the litigation doors wide open for parents unwilling to take responsibility for their children's out of control gaming behavior. Dang, it's not my fault. It's your parents' fault. There was a complaint filed October 30 against the 5 that we've just mentioned in Eastern District of Arkansas. 14 charges from negligence to misrepresentation and violations of the Deceptive Trade Practice Act. This is the Anti-Gambling Act, right? So what they're saying is that these people use, where is it? On behalf of their minor, GD contended that gaming companies responsible for their son's 12 to 14 hour per day video game addiction. Your son, your kid. The Duns claim little GD has spent over $3,000 of God knows whose money, microtransactions, and DLC. This figure does not include the $350 per month spent on services like Game Pass, Battle Passes, and other game-related subscriptions. And it says that defendants manufactured, published, marketed, and sold video games, including those played by GD, that defendants have specifically developed and designed to cause the addiction experienced by their son. Defendants use traditional game tactics such as feedback loops and reward systems, along with patented designs containing addictive features and technology to ensure its users keep playing longer and spending more on microtransaction within the game. The plaintiffs are seeking an amount to be determined by the court to cover injuries to their poor child sustained from his addiction, such as physical pain in his hands, elbows, and shoulders. They also want monetary compensation for the parents' economic loss, statutory punitive damages, and legal fees. So, pay to win stuff, loot boxes, all that stuff. So, they are saying that their son is spending 12 to 14 hours a day playing a video game, $3,000 on microtransaction, and $350 a month because it's your fault that my son can't turn off the video game. Not my fault, your fault. Terry. Yeah, is this? Hold on. Is someone being a bad parent, or are game companies really using addictive things to get you addicted?
Okay, so this article doesn't cover it. So going off of what this particular article, they're just doing the generic stuff. In which case, we would then blame the parents because they're authorizing these purchases and they're not monitoring the amount of screen time their kid has. So that's parenting one right there. But this actual court case goes deeper than that, and they're not covering it in this article. But they're also saying that these companies, Activision and Xbox and all these companies that have been picked out, they're claiming that they are doing more nefarious things, as in hiring psychologists and neurologists to help develop games to find ways to make them actually more addictive, to keep people playing them so they can make more money. So, I mean, if you look at it that way, that's pretty effed up. Yes, we can go on the one side saying, the parents aren't limiting their child's use, which is definitely a thing. But if there is any truth to them saying that they are hiring neurologists and stuff so they can develop games intentionally to making them as addictive as possible, then that's a completely different thing. And that gets kind of scary if you think about it. They're actually doing something that, messed up. So we'll have to wait and see as more claims come out if they say there's any truth to that and if they can actually prove that. But otherwise, if it's just the cut and dry generic crap that this particular article is saying, then it's going to get thrown out. But if they can prove the other side with them actually getting, people with PhDs to get you addicted, that's different. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because that's messed up. And I actually, the only reason why I got interested in this particular news, is because they introduced that. All the other times gaming addiction has been brought up, no one has ever brought that kind of stuff up before. It was literally just the kids are, on a screen from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep. So this is different. So I want to see if there's any truth to that, because could you imagine if these companies are getting neurologists to find, to manipulate these games into a way to where, we are getting addicted or brainwashed to, keep, spending, and changing the way we think we're enjoying it, that we may not be comprehending it, the way that we think we are. Like, that's kind of messed up, and it kind of, it's weird. Like, I'm not a neuroscientist or anything like that. I don't understand how the brain works. Like, most even professionals, don't really fully understand how the brain works. But if they're doing stuff like that, that's messed up. That's all I can say. If they're doing stuff like that, that's messed up. So I just want to find out if there's any truth to that or not.
So I to feed off of what you said, I talked with a game developer who makes games specifically for gambling. Like, they make these casino style games, right? And you can bid with real money on it, and they hide no. She made no
warnings.
Well, no, the company acknowledges that this is real gambling, and the game, you are greeted like this is real gambling. Gambling is an addiction. A bunch of disclaimers, blah 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 blah, right? And they said they are smaller than these people, and without using neurologists and all that stuff, they see how many people come back. Like, they look at the win-loss ratio and the reward, the jackpot size, the the 2-to-1 feed out, and all that stuff to keep people playing. And so they see everything, and of course they're trying to keep their people playing, and they're trying to keep new people interested. And so there is a balancing act to it all. Now, of course, the gambling one is more straightforward. They're not talking about, Call of Duty loot boxes, all that crap, right? So yeah, it is very much straightforward. Now, loot boxes, that is the most gray area for me when it comes to this stuff. But I'll give my point here. But I'm just letting you know that they don't need neurologists to get the feedback to see if you'll keep coming back. But if they are using neurologists and addiction experts and all this stuff, then yeah, I mean, that in itself means intent of addiction, and that could be guilty.
Yep.
That would be guilty to me. Like, You're not just making a game using your analytics to kind of try to keep me playing. You're actually trying to get me addicted because you brought in these experts. Yeah, so that could be it. Shaddai, what do you think?
First of all, I am a parent of 2 kids, and I'm gonna tell you, as a parent, I rather have my kids play video games than being on the streets, because the streets are crazy lately. I'm putting it straight out.
But would you have your kids spending $350 a
No,
month, or they
no.
throw a major tantrum?
No,
I don't even spend that much a month
No,
on
I
services.
I
What
won't
are they
answer-
all buying, man?
No,
Like,
I won't
don't even
answer
do
that. I won't answer that. That's one of the first things that I wanted to say. I'd rather them play video games than being outside, because it's crazy people outside.
Mhm.
Now, the other thing is that when they play, I could say, I could say it's my fault on this one. They are like, my daughter sometimes want something from Fortnite. I buy it, or I just gift it to her. That's pretty much it. So I take control over that automatically.
Mhm.
The bad part is that this happened to me one time with my son. There's the other coin. Since I'm lazy and sometimes I leave my credit card there, they start buying it, and I don't know anything. That happened to me until I went. And that's why they created a parent control thing, which now they don't have access to buy things. So now they have to put whatever code, the four digit, and they don't know it. So they can't buy anything. I go for that. So when they go for what you're saying right now, the 12 to 14 hours per day, that is because you are letting them play for so long. When I personally, as a parent, I let my kid play at least 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and that's it, because I want them either have their break time, go outside, do something. But the thing is that if you don't know how to control them, this is what's going to happen. That means that you're focusing on something else and not you controlling your kids' behavior. The $300 per month, including the services for Game Pass, well, Netflix is one.
Cancel it. I mean, it's just canceling. I mean,
you know what I mean? But at the same time, you have, now I'm going to go a little bit away from the kids. We ourselves, we want to entertain ourselves on something. So we pay a lot of money for Netflix, because the kids are not the only one who watches shows. We do too. So now we have Game Pass. Not only we play games, but we have kids too. So common sense, we're not. Imagine if there was no services and it was just a straight buy. Now we're not talking about services. Now we're talking about $70 per game. Now that number goes higher. So I don't know about that. The microtransaction. Not to, what was it, like years ago? Remember with the EA and Europe, they use a weird vocabulary that instead of saying
they made loot boxes illegal. That's right.
Yeah, but there was a wording that EA used that it was like, what? I can't remember. They used a weird wording because they're trying to say that it was a casino thing that EA was doing, and they used some crazy wording. I can't even remember. But at the end of the day, why are they targeting only video games when you could target people that actually goes to casino and gamble the heck out of it? That's gaming too. So I don't know why. It feels like they're trying to single out video game like it happened before. And Reggie Fils-Aimé, I remember he posted a graph that it was like, no, that's not true. Look at these numbers. So it's gonna continue with this company's surprise mechanic. That is actually true. Surprise mechanics.
Mhm.
So they're trying to use a lot of wording, weird wordings about that. Then what is it, neurologist, whatever?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know about that. You know, they could use whatever professionalism or whatever is that, but at the end of the day, you as an adult, you could see the fine printing there. That is like, okay, this is what the company is trying to do, and we could actually stop it if we want to. Well, that's actually my take. You just kind of, I don't know. I see it like you are like singularly putting it on video games only, but you don't see other that gambles through gamble, probably buy through the phone, do the gambling on the casino. There's more to that. There's more to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's check in with the chat. Let's see how they feel real quick. Da, 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 da. Wow, the chat has a lot to do.
And not only that, somebody said, where's Sony? Where's Nintendo? That is actually true.
Yeah, Gogo Paul mentioned that. Yeah.
Yep.
Where's Sony? Where's Nintendo? All right.
That's true.
Yeah. And Jacob Novik, I kind of agree with this. Every addiction lawsuit gets thrown away or they lose. Want to know why? Because the parents bought the consoles. Yeah. Fastback says, this the moms of the idiots suing Microsoft over ABK. Yeah. Jacob Novik says, I wouldn't say that 14 to 16 hours a day is an addiction.
I don't know how they can fit that time in, because how does the kid have the 12 to 14 hours a day on a during
older
school?
child that's no longer in school. This must be like a young
It'd
teen,
have to be,
early
because
teen.
if you're still going to school, you
Yeah.
don't have that much time when when you come home to when you gotta go to bed.
Axel, when was the time that you did a 14? You play a game for 14 hours straight?
When I was younger, and I could stay up all night. But since I got older, I would say my longest game session now that I'm older is maybe peaking at 8 hours. And this is when my wife is out of town and I have the house to myself and I don't feel like doing anything. I'll turn on my video games for maybe 8 hours, but even then I'll stop and get up and do something. Like I just can't. So yeah, and I'm talking that is an extreme peak. Right now, most of my gaming sessions, I'm talking a long one, quote unquote long one, is 3 hours.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. That's my max too, 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are, I mean, most of my gaming sessions are an hour to 2 hours. If it goes beyond that into the 3 hour mark, I spend more time podcasting than I do gaming. I mean, I like talking about video games more than I like on Sundays and on Fridays. Because I get to interact with you guys, everybody, with my panel, with the chat. I am a social creature through the internet. Don't come at my house. Don't dox me as a sniper wolf. Don't dox me. So yeah, I would say the times when my gaming sessions have been 8 hours have been multiplayer sessions. If it's by myself, it's 1 to 2 hours. If it's with friends, it definitely reaches up there because I like multiplayer games, right? But yeah, 14 to 16 hours, I wouldn't even know. I would say I don't know if that I would classify that as an addiction, especially every day when all you do is turn on the game and that's all you do, and you bypass all your other responsibilities. But again,
you know what's an addiction?
Who taught them that that's okay?
When they go to when you take your phone and you go straight to Facebook, that's an addiction. Or you go to Twitter.
Yeah. I agree with Jago. If you're letting your children game for 14 or more hours a day, you're not doing your job as a parent. I have to agree. I have to agree. And of course, Fastback says, don't forget Mountain Dew, Hot Pockets, and Doritos too. Yeah. And they do use gambling casino tactics to keep you addicted. What is the best way I'm going to say this? If you want to have a vice, whatever that vice is, it could be something that doesn't hurt anybody, like video games. It doesn't hurt anybody to play video games. You're not damaging anybody except yourself, right?
It gets tricky because there have been cases of people who were addicted to games and it hurt other people. Case of the one guy who got addicted to WoW and he forgot to feed his son and his son died.
I mean, yeah, okay, I see that.
That's
That is an outlier. though,
College
not
kids
normal.
not eating and stuff, and
It's a terrible outlier.
know,
Don't get me wrong. It's a
yeah.
terrible outlier. Yeah. But if you want to have a vice, right? If you have a vice, you should fund your vice. I promise you, once this kid starts spending $3,000 of his own money, he'll lose his addiction. Like if I had an addicted child to video games and I took away his video games and he threw a tantrum, guess who's throwing a tantrum right back at him? Me. Right? Like, you're not gonna out-parent me. Like, I don't know. I come from an old school style of upbringing where, you know, I am the parent, you are the child. I don't care what you think is fair. You're doing what I say. Right? It comes to, like, I don't know, this new soft parenting techniques, right? Like, oh, you know, you can't open my door. I have a right to privacy. Baloney, you do. You live in my house, right? You don't even get that door. I'll take it off. Like, I come from that style of harder parenting.
Same
right?
here.
Like, oh, you wanna? I will break that Xbox. Why? Because I bought it. It's mine. You know, like
I traded.
like you know, whatever. I'm just saying, like, you want to throw a tantrum? Go throw a tantrum. Go outside. Scream all you want. Oh, I will call Child Protective Services. Go ahead. Go to foster care. See how good they take care of you there. See how good you can play games there. Like, I am so absolute in that manner, so hard, because that's the way I was brought up, right? When mom says turn off the video games, she meant turn off the video games. You know what I mean? And I didn't need to be hit or anything like that. It was because my mom meant business. One way or another, that video game was turning off. And it didn't have to be physical against me, right? Like, I remember, I didn't figure this out until I was later. Like, she would unplug fuses. Like, I'm not kidding with you. You know, like, she would go to the breaker box and not flip the breaker. Back then, they were the screw-in fuses. She would take it out and hide it. So this is what I'm getting at. There are ways to parent without being abusive and all that stuff, right? So yeah, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, and Fastback is right here. Fast food, cereal, cartoons, commercials all use tactics to attract kids. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with Jago, right? You can stop the child's addiction just by taking the consoles away. It's not that hard. Yeah. I think what they are is they don't want to deal with the tantrum. You know, like, Shadai, you're a parent of two. I'm sure your kids have thrown massive tantrums.
Actually,
I mean, look at the news. Like, we're seeing teenagers beating up their teachers because they got their cell phone taken away.
Oh yeah, they switch. One of them is going to prison for life for insulting the
Yeah,
teacher.
so I mean, I could, you know, so when your kids, you know, when your parenting has been so bad to where your kids haven't been limited on screen time to where now they literally lash out and are violent. I mean, taking away their console can be hard because you know, some of these kids, you know, they get bigger than their parents. You know, so like, could you imagine if you're a single mom and you have a teenage boy who's double your size? You're not going to tell him no.
Well, that's why it's important to have an authority above him. Like, I have been bigger than my mom since I was 12 years old.
Yeah, so I mean, it gets
never
tricky,
raised a hand at my mom because I was taught from a young age that she is the parent, I am the child.
So yeah, I mean, she was a good parent, but you know, now we have, you know, my entire generation, but you know, majority of them, you know, they start giving their kids a phone when they're like 5 years old, or something, which is stupid. You know, so you know, it's literally my generation are bad parents. Not all of them. There are good ones, but you know, when you look at like the masses, all these kids have phones when they're in elementary school already. You know, so it's terrible. Absolutely.
And shout out to Sappho for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. Sappho says, I spent more time working the gaming. I'm jealous of people who get to play consoles, dump 8 hours into a game. Right? Yeah. But yeah, Shadai, you know, if your kids throw a tantrum, you're going to somehow, whatever that tantrum is, it can be a major tantrum, minor tantrum. You're going to assert that you're the parent and they're the child and they must do what you say.
Okay.
That happens.
That happened to my daughter one time, but what I did was give it to me, whatever, and she didn't say anything back. She
Yeah.
just went to drawing. I'm like, go draw, and she just goes drawing.
Yeah.
The only one that it does not give me a tantrum, but it's more like, please, Dad, is my son. But he's he's autistic. But I'm like, please, I'm like, nope, not yet, not yet. Oh man, but he doesn't go for. Both of them are good kids. They don't go into a tantrum like I used to.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, but no.
Yeah. So Jacob Nowhere goes, I have a question, Axel. If it turns out the moms lose, what happens? They find her in prison? Nothing. This is not a criminal case. This is a civil lawsuit. So no, none of that. They lose. They have to pay their lawyers. They lose money.
Which clearly they have no problem losing money. They're spending $350 a month on gaming services, which I don't even do that. So like, what in the world did they spend their money on?
I want to know where's that figure of 350 per month on services? Like, are they trying to combine everything all at once?
It says, so Game Pass, Battle Passes, and other game-related subscriptions. So what so they got Game Pass, they got EA Play, they got Ubisoft Plus, they got the Call of Duty Pass. Fortnite, I think, has a pass, right? So like,
okay, so let's add it up. Disney Plus, Netflix.
It does say
Peacock.
game related. It does say game related. So
Yeah.
No, that's a given party. But knowing us that we want a lot of entertainment, man, at at Netflix, the Peacocks, the Disney Pluses, and the Hulu Pluses, the Crunchyroll. God,
I hear where you're coming from, but when you look at these stupid lawsuits,
They're
parents
dumb.
are not gamers.
That's true.
Yeah, but they're also not being parents. Just say.
They're not being parents. This is true too, but at the same time, it's always the non-gaming parent that is having these lawsuits.
Yeah, and somebody brings up, if you're bigger than the mom, let's pretend it's a single mom, as is very common these days, and your child is able to physically harm you and does physically harm you. Well, you know what? That I'm going to use that Nintendo Switch kid assaulting the teacher for taking his Nintendo Switch away in school. How much Nintendo Switch is he playing in prison? And I think they're trying him as an adult too. How much is he playing in prison? I guarantee you, his addiction is broken. He is over his addiction. And I understand he's a child. He doesn't think of long-term consequences and that stuff. And again, parents' fault for not teaching their children that. I personally believe that a lot of my generation of parents, and I hate to say this, but it is my generation of parents, are very they want to talk to children like they're adults, and they're not. They're children. I'm not saying hit the children. I'm not saying abuse the children. I'm not saying any of that. As I said, my mom never once hit me in my life. I take that back. She did hit me when I was 20 years old. But that's a funny story, not a malicious like grounding hit, right? And she didn't hit me hard. I was 20. Obviously, it's not going to hurt. But my mom always found ways to assert that she was the parent and not and I was the child. So that's just the way I'm saying, right? You don't need to. There are ways. There are ways. That's all I'm saying. I understand that today's technology is different. But yeah, I agree with what you say. The people who give their kids cell phones at 5 years old, not like let them use your cell phone. I'm talking like give them a cell phone, their own private cell phone.
They have their own cell phone, their own tablets, everything.
Yeah, I think it's a little odd.
It's not odd. It's exaggerating.
I just think it's odd. I just think it's odd. Yeah, and I agree with Fastback. These parents let video games, TV, streaming service to babysit their kid, and now they want to blame the companies once they realize how much it cost, and it's not their fault that they're addicted. Yeah, when it's all your child has grown up with, it definitely is an issue. But if, as I said, companies should definitely do the socially responsible thing, and if they are purposely bringing in neurologists to get us addicted. I think that is malicious intent, and they should win this lawsuit.
Mhm.
So, but Terry, how does the chat feel? We had a poll.
If you were the jury, how would you vote? 92% said not guilty.
Not guilty.
7% said
Objection.
guilty.
Objection.
So yeah, and Jacob Novik, again, shout out to Jacob Novik. He's definitely bringing in the point of view here we need. He says, I'm autistic and have ADHD. When I was younger, I was yelled at for wanting to buy everything. I'm grateful for my mom and sometimes my dad because I learned not to be spoiled.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
I'm
kids are
right there
learning
with
that
you.
too.
Like as soon as I was like 10, 12, my
Mhm.
parents stopped buying like stuff like that for me. If I wanted video games at that point, I was buying my own. You know, I babysat, I helped my dad with the construction. You know, I went to the neighbors and I picked up pine cones out of his yard for him. Like, you know, you did whatever you had to do to make money as a kid over the summer, and you know, you get your own stuff and you know,
Yeah,
teach
I
your kid
agree with Terry.
responsibility.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. I mowed so many lawns when I was a kid for
Yeah.
$5. You know,
Kids today have no responsibility. They don't do chores. Like parents today do not have kids do chores anymore.
it's
really-
a weird concept. Now, from a Latino background, trust me, they're still doing chores, right? Most of them. Most of them.
That's a given.
But you know, not everybody grew up from a Latino household. Not everybody grew up with these type of parents, right? Some kids are spoiled, and unfortunately, you spoiled your kid. You know, look what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just saying. And if your kid is doing something bad that is becoming addiction, whether it be video games or anything else, any other vice that is bad for them, that will hinder them from being a productive member of society, it should be on you to give it your best effort to get them off that, to help them off that. You know, some children get in with the wrong crowds and they make bad decisions that affect their life, their entire life. You know, because they end up getting these vices. So yeah, definitely be better parents to your kids. Don't just let them grow up unmonitored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, interact with them. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Ooh, what a hot topic, Terry. All right, let's move it along let's get to the last topic of the day, guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this show. We're 3 hours in. Holy cow. And here I thought we were going to be quick. We're going to have to pick less topics next time. Last topic of the day is the Golden Joystick Awards came in.
Woohoo!
So we have some of the results from the Golden Joysticks. Now, the Golden Joysticks does not have a website. So on their Twitter, they officially linked to Games Radar. So that's what I'm using. So let's talk. There are a lot of categories, and we are not going to cover.
Baldur's Gate 3 cleaned house.
Not for nothing.
Guys.
There's some that it was like it shouldn't be there at all. Like
Yeah.
best game expansion. Really?
They have some really weird categories. Like
Yes.
they literally made a Nintendo category, and Nintendo only won in the Nintendo category.
Yeah, but then the Xbox only or the PlayStation only. Why? And they still playing awards, so they don't feel left out. I'm like, really?
I kind of get it because when you do think about it, when we have like the Game Awards, everyone's like, you know, well, no one's going to beat Sony because Sony has the bias of Sony. So I get why they would make categories specifically for the others, so that way they can't claim bias. But then it just means they only win that one category. So is that still bias?
I don't know, but I know there was a lot of categories there. When I watched it last night, I'm like, really? For this?
Mhm.
And it was kind of cringe too. The show, I don't know, it was kind of cringe. Like it felt weird.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these categories you want to pick. So I want to pick first best storytelling, Baldur's Gate 3. So the nominees for best storytelling, you guys tell me if they got it right or wrong, was Baldur's Gate 3, The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, Armor Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, Paranomicite,
That
The
game.
Seven Mysteries of Hanjo, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So let me share this. Here we go. So these were the nominees. Terry, did the right game win?
Out of those ones,
Yeah. Out of those ones, I would say yes.
I would say yes.
Out of those options, yes.
I agree.
I don't know much about the Star Wars Jedi Survivor, so that probably would have been the biggest contender against Baldur's Gate 3.
Oxenfree 2, I think, is the biggest contender here. I don't even know why Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is on there.
Just,
Being honest.
just to fill it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Do you want to go through any of these categories? Let's go to best indie game next. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah,
Sure.
All right. So let me open up best indie game. Let me make this stream friendly. Oh, not stream friendly yet. Here we go. It's gonna lose the signal as I knew it would. There we go. Bring it back in.
Thank you,
Bring it back.
AI. Thank you, AI.
Yeah. All right. So best indie games. So we got Terry, Dave the Driver, Pizza Tower, Dredge, Cocoon, Viewfinder, and Sea of Stars.
They got some really good ones on this list. So Sea of Stars, I haven't played it, but I've heard out of all of these, I mean, Cocoon's a really good one too. I've heard the most, positive stuff about Sea of Stars. So I feel that one is just that one does deserve it. I've heard nothing but good things about Sea of Stars, and it's on my list of things that I want to try out. I just haven't gotten to it. Jedi, have you played it? I feel like that would be right up your alley because that's kind of like the vein of the kind of games you like.
Yeah, I actually did play it a little bit, and it reminds me of. I know it's the studio that created Suikoden, but it reminds me of I just played it not too long ago. Somewhat similar to Octopath. I'm talking about artistic wise, but yeah, that game is the story is engaging. I like it.
I'm sad that
Oh, Euden Chronicles. Thank you, Euden Chronicles.
No, I didn't Chronicle. Screw that game. Worth that game
blasphemy. Here we go again with the blasphemy sound.
I did Chronicles. Whatever Rising was the worst, most boring game I played this year.
You know what?
The worst, most boring game I played in the last decade.
You know what? Stay in your lane with Halo Wars, okay? Just stay in your lane with Halo Wars.
I'm sad that the Mountain King is not on here because that was a fantastic game. Right, Terry?
Which one?
The Mountain King. Something the Mountain King.
See, even Gogo Po knows that Yoda is gonna be awesome.
I can't think of what you're talking about.
It's that horror game that you did. Bramble, the Mountain King.
Okay, Bramble. Okay.
I'm sad.
I'm surprised Bramble should be on this list.
Bramble should be because it is, guys. Trust me.
Bramble definitely should be on this list.
It is fantastic.
Planet of Lana should have been there. It wasn't there either.
Yeah, Planet of Lana was pretty good. Yeah, so I feel that of course some people got snubbed, and Gogo Pole says Iden is going to be awesome. I hope Iden 100 Heroes is awesome because Iden Rising was terrible, and I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it. Let's not get off the topic here. All right, share this tab instead. Let's go back. All right. So best indie game, I want to do best VR game because I'm into VR. I know you guys maybe are not, but
the only one that they have is that one.
Dude, I've been seeing what that what's the one that Facebook makes? The
Oculus Quest 3?
The Quest 3. I've been seeing people doing like just everyday stuff and like using their Quest 3 for like watching like the news and all that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like that's cool. Like I can get behind doing that.
That AR, you're really into that AR.
I tell you, it's the future. VR is gonna fizzle out, man.
No way, VR is better.
Is the future. I'm telling you, man. I keep telling you.
Watch HoloLens is gonna come back.
I'm telling you, AR is the future. So right. Like that stuff's cool.
We have Sea Smash VRS, Horizon Call of the Mounted, Synapse, Vertical 2, F123 VR, and the Light Brigade. I got to tell you, the only contenders here are Synapse and the Light Brigade, and Call on the Mountain was better. So out of these here, Call on the Mountain was the better VR game. I think if if Asgard's Wrath 2 would have released in time, they would have been maybe a contender as well. So yeah, I think the right game won out of here.
Yeah,
There really
same.
hasn't been a killer app outside of Call on the Mountain this year for VR. Just plain facts. So yeah. Anybody disagree? Should I?
Nope.
Terry? No?
Didn't
No,
they?
I agree with that one.
I'm trying to think. I thought there was a. I don't do VR, so
Well,
forgive me.
actually,
there was something else that came out this year that
it was
kinda,
supposed
like,
to be
took
Resident
over.
Evil 4, but VR, but
That wouldn't have been from this year though.
yeah.
There was something else. I can't remember. Like I said, I don't pay attention to VR,
Mhm.
but there was a different game that everybody kind of like was going over how was like the best one for the year, and it's not on the list.
For VR? For VR?
For-
For VR?
For VR, yeah, I can't remember what it was. I think it was an action game, but I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it. I'd know it if I saw it, but I can't remember it. But yeah, it's
I
definitely
know
missing
Arizona
something.
Sunshine 2 came out. I thought that one was pretty good. Cities VR was terrible. Star Wars Squadron is older. I'm trying to think of all the ones I like playing. So let's see. Let's go to PC Gamer. Maybe they'll help. Oh, of course, I lost it. Let's see. I don't know what you're talking about, Terry. You'll have to
Yeah,
come-
I'm sorry. I'll research if I can find it. We'll continue.
Yeah. Blade and Sorcery is older. Elite Dangerous. Yeah. So yeah. Half-Life Alyx, of course, best VR game ever made. Call of the Mountain has nothing on it. So yeah. All right. Let's keep it going though. Share screen. This one, share. Let's see. Let's check it with the chat. Gogo Pole says AR can be scary because it mixes into the real world.
That's true.
But that's what Terry wants. And I haven't played VR for a while. Nothing I've seen lately interests me. Man, you gotta pick up that Oculus, buddy. Terry, pick a category. I'll let you pick one.
Wait. Why do we have a game trailer? Hold on. Why do we have a game trailer category?
See, I told you they're weird.
Yeah,
They're
there's
weird.
Why does
boys.
that exist? Okay,
That's
I'm
weird.
sorry.
They have best
Um,
multiplayer game, Terry. I know you love that.
How? No. Do they have multiplayer and co-op are different? Do they have like a co-op category?
I think they call it the community game. Nah, maybe. I don't know. No, they don't. They don't. It's just
Blasphemy
multiplayer.
right there, because multiplayer doesn't necessarily mean co-op. You can literally do that's just PvP in my eyes. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
all right. I guess do the breakthrough.
Break to the word. All
For
right.
200.
200. Here we go. Let's see. So the Breakthrough Award celebrates the developers and created behind unexpected gems that surprise us and delight us with their out-of-the-box craft. All right, so let's see. Holy cow. There are no nominees?
Just let the cocoon. He's
I think
covered
they're all
up and
kind of
nobody
just.
cares.
I think they have them all mixed in.
All
Yeah.
right, hold on. Let me share this tab instead. Let me move this out of reader mode because sometimes they put it in slideshows. Okay, so the nominees were Viewfinder, Dredge, and see a stars. So more indies. Some of the Zelda was nominated because of its use of sound.
Well,
So those are the nominees.
Joystick Awards tends to try to feature the indies more, so it makes sense that they have more indies on here.
Yeah,
than-
so it's almost the same as the indies. So the Breakthrough Award goes to Cocoon. I haven't played it, but a lot of people are saying I'm sleeping on it, and I need to.
I haven't played that one yet either, so I think it's fitting.
Oh, here we go. Sappho says because likes to bait and switch their gamers with Dr. Gameplay and trailers. Oh my god, like the mobile ads.
I'll never get over like Ark. you know, like Ark, they always make like these amazing trailers, and their game looks like booty cheeks in comparison to their trailers.
So true. So
It,
true.
it looked like
Is it Ark,
hey,
Ark
hey,
Survival Evolved, or whatever the heck that stupid thing is? And then they had that pirate one. Like they got
Atlas.
me.
Atlas. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
they got me because that trailer looked amazing, and then and then it was literally just Ark Survivor Evolved reskin, and it was booty cheeks. I was like, come on, you guys.
It ended up Master Cheeks.
You know they know how to clickbait you with the trailers right there. That company, those guys are crooks, man.
These guys are crooks. There should be a one like biggest disappointment.
They spend their entire game
You know what?
budget on their
They should
trailer.
have that. They should have the worst game ever. You know.
Yeah, worst game of the year. The Razzies for video games. Should I pick a topic? I'll let you pick one.
Let me see. No, I had one right there. I'm gonna call the last one. I think it's the ultimate game of the year.
All right. Should I skip it to the end? Let's
Yeah.
skip to the end.
For 500.
All right.
There
let me
were
see.
some. No, they got it right. It is Baldur's Gate.
Did
but
they?
There were some things there, like for the nominees, that shouldn't be there, not even at all.
Holy cow! The list of nominees is massive on this.
Yeah, because they added Resident Evil 4. I think it was
All right, guys. The only way you're going to be able to see this is with ads, so I apologize in advance. Look at this list. Oh my God, it's so big, and these ads are so massive, I can't even show them all. All right, here we go. So, Baldur's Gate 3, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Alan Wake 2, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Cocoon, Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Armored Core 6, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Street Fighter 6, Metroid Prime Remastered, Hi-Fi Rush, Lords of the Fallen, Dead Space Remake, and Sea of Stars. All of those got nominated. Out of all of those, Terry, is Baldur's Gate the correct choice?
Out of all of these, man, this is a tough one.
Look how many. That is a big list.
This is a big list.
Okay. No. Let's start off like this. The games that you will remove from that list. Let's start off with that.
Okay, Terry, pick like maybe a top two.
Top three. Top three. Okay, top three for me. Baldur's Gate. I would say Lords of the Fallen, and I would say. Ooh. Scroll back up. I would say give it to Zelda as well. Even though I'm not a fan of Zelda, they still deserve to be there.
So there you go. So at least the winner is in the top three. Should I? Which ones are your top three?
I could say. Wow. I could go for Starfield. I could go for. Let me see. Super Mario Wonders. I could go for that one. And for the last one is go lower. Oh jeez. I think Boulder. Yeah, and Baldur's Gate.
All right.
Because I should remove. There's a lot of them that shouldn't belong there at all.
So for me, my games of the year are going to be the ones I've spent the most time of the year. So right now it's going to be Starfield, Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm going to go with.
I'm very surprised that Hogwarts Legacy is not there.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy should definitely be here. I want to say
Evil West should be on that list.
I haven't tried Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm sure when I play it, I'm going to love it.
Oh, I know I'm going to be all in when I get to play it.
But I haven't played it, so I can't nominate it for mine yet. Out of the rest, I'll give it to
Can I change one?
Hi-Fi Rush. But out of those, Tears of the Kingdom is my game of the year. It beat out Starfield. After I played Starfield and I started comparing the two, Tears of the Kingdom is the better game.
I wanted it to change one. I wanted it to take out Super Mario
No, take backs. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was gonna take out Super Mario Wonders and go for Alan Wake 2 because I played part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so great choice. Let's see what the chat has to say. Lots of people are in on here. Let's see. So Sappho says, I kind of don't agree with Baldur's Gate being majority of the gamers playing Baldur's Gate didn't make it to Act 3. Hey, but the people that are voting make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really for me. Is
The
if you're
good
voting, you
thing-
should at least have tried very hard to finish the game.
Yeah, that's one of the good things about the
Mhm.
Joystick Awards is they have separate awards that are Player's Choice, and then they
Critics'
have
choice right
ones-
here.
Yeah, and then they have that's Critics' Choice. I think they have a Player's Choice,
Oh,
and
do
then
they
they
have a
have
player's choice? Let's see.
I think they have a Player's Choice, a Critics' Choice, and then everything else they have actual people like judges that vote. So
They don't have a player's choice, only critics' choice.
okay, they have a Critics' Choice. Okay, so that makes it a little bit less biased because players are going to be biased, and they're all
Yeah.
going to vote, and they always vote for games they never play.
Yeah.
So,
Because
So
it's on their favorite piece of plastic. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. so it gets the awards in general are rigged. Okay, but I commented on her comment because when you look at any game that's won, game of the year, majority of the people who played that game never finished that game. Look at the Assassin's Creeds, for example; those have won awards, and majority of people don't even get halfway through them.
Mhm,
The new God of War, majority of people never even finished the new God of War, but yet that game won Game of the Year.
mhm, mhm.
Last of Us Part 2, a lot of people didn't finish it. It still won. So it's not really a factor when they still allow all these games to win that nobody ever finishes.
Mm, mm. Yeah, so there you go. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God, Terry, read this name.
Okay, hold on, I guess. Global Lister Rongsgegeren.
I'm just gonna call you G. All right, G says, "Hi, maybe it's because it's a massive game and the majority have not had so much time to play. It is a massive game. It's like a 200-hour game, as most Larian games are. And yeah, people need to get time to go through it, as most of us have jobs other than gaming.
Mhm.
But thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. We appreciate you. Gogo Pulso says it's terrible that Hogwarts was very good. Yeah, I agree. Hogwarts should have definitely been in that. It's the best-selling game of the year so far.
I still need to try it.
Yeah.
Need to try it.
It's the
Yeah, I'm
best-selling game of the
thinking-
year.
yeah.
And the last category we're gonna cover, guys, so we can cut this off here, is gonna be most wanted game for next year. I always love looking into next
Oh
year's
yeah,
games,
most wanted.
or maybe 2 years down the road games. Here are the nominees:
God,
Death
jeez.
Stranded 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Tekken 8, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, Hades 2, Fable, Hollow Knight Silksong, Everywhere, Frostpunk 2, Arc 2, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Persona 3 Reload, Bulwark Falconeer Chronicles, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Pacific Drive, Black Myth Wukong, Banishers Ghost of New Eden, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. Shaddai, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Black Myth Wukong.
Myth
Right.
Wukong.
Yo, that game looks awesome.
It's a Souls game, Shaddai. You're not going to be able to finish it.
It's not about being souls. It's just
Well-
like things that are myths, like Greek
Yeah.
mythologies and all that. I love those things. And now we're gonna get to play the Monkey King. So
The Monkey
yeah.
King, that's
The
right.
Monkey King.
They have so much missing. There's like they got a big list, but I feel like a lot of these aren't even that highly anticipated compared to some that are missing that are highly anticipated.
Yeah. What you're gonna say? I'm sorry, but I don't like the list because Skulls and Bones is not there.
No, like I'm saying, Skull and Bones deserves not to be on that list because there's no they don't have a date.
No, it's
Yeah,
because
where's
no,
Hellblade 2? Sappho's
No.
right. Where's Hellblade 2?
no, it's because remember the boat sank a long time ago.
The boat sank.
but But they don't have Avatar on there.
Oh yeah, for Tears of
That's
Pandora.
actually true.
I'm looking forward to that one. Terry, but out of these, which
Perfect
one would you
Dark's
pick?
not on there.
Avowed is not there.
Yeah, so like from this list, since the ones that I am highly anticipating are missing, I would go with Star Wars Outlaws. Fable would have been it, but after that last trailer that they showed of Fable, they've kind of lost my interest. So Star Wars Outlaws gets it for me.
All right.
Why? Because it's made by Ubisoft?
No, because it actually made an outer space game that looks fun compared to Starfield.
I don't know. There's another one called Everspace.
That's not fun.
Who can? You're a fan of Skull and Bones?
I am a fan of Skull and Bones. I've played quite a bit of it, and I love what I've seen. They definitely got a lot of polishing to do, so hopefully get it done. And there's a lot of issues right now, political issues right now over in Singapore. So there's reasons why that game is not being completed. So
the port is poor.
I'm being patient. Singapore's got money. What are you talking about?
More money than they know what to do with. I tell you that.
Wherever.
All right, so let's see. I am looking forward to Final Fantasy, Fable, Hollow Knight, Silk Song. Of course, I love Hollow Knight. Black Myth and Suicide Squad. But out of those, I would say I'm most hyped for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I bought my PlayStation specifically to play Final Fantasy games. So yeah, I am very, very hyped for that. But if Hellblade 2 was on this, it would win. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If Hellblade 2 was on this, it would win.
Perhaps. Why isn't Perfect Dark on this list?
We haven't heard anything.
They haven't even
from
showed
them.
gameplay of that yet. Yeah.
It still should be most wanted.
I would say my most wanted is probably Hellblade 2, as I am a huge fan of that style. But other than that, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, yeah. So there you go, guys. The golden joysticks. We just wanted to give you guys some of our thoughts on it, have a little fun, end on a little more positive note. So yeah. And shout out to Papa Woody for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. You're the real MVP. He says Stalker 2, I'm booking a week off work when that game releases. No joke. I booked a week off work when Starfield released. So I understand you, Papa Woody. I understand you. All right. But that's gonna do it for today's show, guys. Again, guys, we want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in and watching our show, our nice over 3-hour long show today. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do this show without you guys, the chat, and that's why you guys, the chat, will always be the MVP to any of the shows on this YouTube channel. And with that being said, we are gonna get out of here. I'm Axel1324.
No, I'm Cool Cat Terry.
Oh no, Deadpool. Okay. This is Eternal Should I behave?
Behave, oh man. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Bye, everybody.